boop, 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 boop. Maybe that's what I need, some little tune in the background.
If you hurt Americans or are planning to hurt Americans, we will find you
Hello,
and we
everyone.
will kill you, says President Donald J. Trump. This immediately made every single Islamist and transgender terrified to be in their own house. The Donald released an insane tweet, and for some reason this is getting almost zero media coverage, despite the fact that this tweet has 160,000 likes and it's one of the biggest things that ever happened. Tonight at my direction, brave American forces and the armed forces of Nigeria flawlessly executed a meticulously planned and very complex mission to eliminate the most active terrorist in the world from the battlefield, Abu Bilal al-Minuki, sounds like a straight white Christian male to me, second in command of ISIS globally, thought he could
What am I
hide in
stuck on?
Africa. But little did he know, we had sources who kept us informed on what he was doing. Also, he has Ebola. Also, he's gay. He will no longer terrorize the people of Africa or help to plan operations to target Americans. With his removal, ISIS's global operation has greatly diminished. Thank you to the government of Nigeria for your partnership on this operation. God bless America. President Donald J. Trump. Every single so-called Christian influencer that's out there saying that Trump betrayed America because he's killing terrorists that are killing Christians is so full of it, it's insane. There is an insane psyop going on right now in America to divide Christians. I don't know. Maybe I see it because I'm kind of slightly removed from that whole thing, but it's so obvious from where I stand that this is going on. My hyper-nuanced stance is, ideally, in an ideal world, we would be focusing on God, family, and our nation instead of Infinity War neocons and Islamic cocksuckers, all right? Listen, I'm just being upfront here, guys. This is freaking awesome. All right, I'm super, super happy that Donald Trump decided to obliterate that motherfucker. That's awesome. Look, I'm paying taxes. Most of the tax dollars that I am paying are not going to places where I want them to go. It goes to abortions, it goes to healthcare, welfare, bullshit for illegal aliens, and people that refuse to get jobs. It goes to every institution on the freaking planet that is teaching children to become jihadis and castrate themselves while they're doing it. I mean, hey, glass half full, am I right? So if my tax dollars could go to eliminate the head honcho terrorist that's genociding Christians in Nigeria, that is a colossal W. And the fact that the Tucker Carlsons of the world aren't talking about this is absolutely evidence that they're compromised. Now, President Trump, I was the calm before the storm, he says. And then he shared this, an image of a Nigerian pastor speaking out for, because they were getting genocided.
Look at it today! Is there any Muslim?
This is a pile of Christian corpses that were massacred by Muslims in Nigeria.
United Nations, I know you're watching it. American Senate, you are watching what I'm doing. I'm saying here. Special advisor to Trump. Now, please tell Trump to save our lives in Nigeria. They are killing Christians in Nigeria. Massacre Christians. If they say they kill Muslims, Muslims are being killed. By who? By Muslims.
It's just a straight fact, by the way. Never forget the human rights advocates like Mehdi Hassan saying that there is no Christian genocide in Nigeria by any definition, as he screams about the pretendicide that's happening in Gaza every single day. And this is the guy who, by the way, says all of his relatives are now in love with Tucker Carlson. That's so weird. Yeah, is it really so weird? Pay attention to the op in front of your eyes. Like, this is insane. Now, China says it will buy more U.S. oil because, obviously, a lot of people don't understand the geopolitics. I see a lot of people coping, making believe that we're in Iran war for Israel or something like that, as if the American government has zero agency of our own. The reality is really simple. We topple Venezuela, we take their oil. We topple Iran, we cuck their oil. China needs oil, and it buys it from us. Not only are we eliminating narco-terrorist threats in our hemisphere in Venezuela, and actual Islamic terror threats in Iran that have, by the way, attacked our troops 350 times over the last 30 months. Tried to assassinate the president multiple times, and also is trying to build nuclear weapons to kill us, all right? But also, we shut down that oil, and now all of a sudden, China is our best friend. China, please, Mr. Donald, may I rig your bar sack, please? So it's a rough day for those guys. Now, they've been trying so hard to mog the Donald. It's been brutal. So as you can see, all right, Donald Trump over here sitting on his chair and Xi Jinping sitting on his chair. They gave like triple the amount of cushion to his fucking couch thing so that he could look taller than Donald. So they did everything in their power, everything, to try to make Trump feel small. And then China immediately folded on literally fucking everything. Literally everything. They're buying like hundreds of planes. They're buying tons of our oil. We are the #1 Chinese oil givers right now. Colossal W's everywhere. A lot of people are asking the question, by the way, if we're now exporting all this oil to China, we got all this oil from Venezuela, why are gas prices high? And those people don't understand politics at all. You should slap them just for saying that. Metaphorically, I'm not calling for violence here. I know some leftist is going to now try to get me killed because I'm inciting violence or something. The reality is very simple. Well, yeah, the leftists will try to get me killed anyway, regardless. But also, what I'm trying to say is, these people don't understand what speculative markets are. Almost all markets, ups and downs, are based on speculation. There is some sort of speculation by the experts that all thought Kamala Harris was going to win the presidential election in 2024. All those experts thought that oil was going to go up because we're bombing Iran. So a lot of the speculative market is making gas prices increase to almost as high as it was during average day under Biden. To understand where we're at. The U.S. and China have agreed to lower tariffs on some unspecified products to promote bilateral trade for China's Commerce Ministry. The statement confirmed China's plans to purchase U.S. made and said China will address the U.S. concerns on agricultural imports. You know what this means? This means that the stock market is going to hit an all-time high on Monday. Pay attention, boys and girls. The Jew is calling it, all right? So listen, I could be wrong, but I'm probably not. So Trump on Taiwan. The Chinese don't want to see it go independent. But they don't want to see it go independent. I'd like to see everyone...
Holy shit, she's loaded.
Come over to us in America. I'm not looking to have someone go independent. And you know, we had to put the Trump 9,500 miles to fight a war. I'm not looking for that. But you look at the odds, China's a very, very powerful and a big country, and that's a very small island. Think of it, 59 miles away, or 9,500 miles away. That's a little bit of a difficult problem. If you look at the history, Taiwan is developed because we had presidents who didn't know what the hell they're doing. They stole our chip industry. This is the most American first president we've ever had, and it's really not even close. Now, one of the reasons why I am banned in China is because I actually do support Taiwan's sovereignty. Because China is a mongoloid, genocidal, tyrannical communist state. And fuck them. And also, Hassan Piker supports China, which means they're probably just straight evil. So, but anyway, Nadana recognizes the fact that we cannot have another Strait of Hormuz situation. We can't have something that's pivotal to our economy being within firing range of ultimately our adversaries. So this is a very American first stance, move chip manufacturing to America. We'll still maintain the same defense agreement with Taiwan. However, we don't need our chips to be average, and I think that's a pretty good stance. Now, the craziest update of all, one of the things that was pushing gas prices to go up throughout all of Europe mostly, but also here in America, was climate change. Climate change has been the ultimate hoax. It's been unbelievable how much money these fuckwads made off the climate.
Get out of the car, come on.
But it's over.
Well, scrub. Break off your rear mirror.
Entire little microcosm of people that fucking are at war with reality every single day. Men and women are the same. Women don't have sex. But I'm your genitals. Affirm your sex. Islam is the religion of peace. Not a good riddance. After 15 years, Democrats promoting policies that climate change is going to destroy the planet. The United Nations Stop Climate Committee just admitted that its own projections.
I ain't scared.
Wrong. For far too long, climate action has been used by Democrats to scare Americans, which are horrible energy policies that fund billions into their bogus research programs, which they made billions off of, let's be real. Unlike the Democrats who climate alarmist and nonsense to push their green scam, my administration won't based on truth, science, and facts. President Donald J. Trump is so big. Just so fucking awesome that this is happening. Now, update on the war. Trump decided within the next 24 hours a major military action against Iran. Israel receiving the final answer in the same window because Israel works for us. A lot of people don't understand geopolitics and they're like, oh my god, a Jew in America? Holy shit, parasite nation. The Jews, they're living in the tunnels and controlling our country. Well, the reality is we control Israel and only complete retards that are illiterate when it comes to geopolitics don't see that. The major reason why we fund Israel, which I'm against, by the way, I don't want to be funding any foreign nation whatsoever, is because we get to control them. We get to tell them exactly what we want them to do.
Open the gate.
We want them to do it. We tell them to stop wars, they stop wars. We tell them to attack, they attack. Ultimately, that is what we're buying.
I am not intimidated at all.
Like Again, I don't want to be funding any foreign nation. To be clear, that's my thing. But Trump doesn't see it that way. Anyway, Terror Commander worked through a new Iran-backed terror group to kill Trump. This is an actual third assassination attempt on Donald Trump from the Iranian regime, which we're supposed to just make believe are actually just super good guys that never would harm a flea, all right, according to the leftoid. But the crazy update is we are preparing
It's usually the guy that's he's usually hanging out like right there, smoking cigarettes.
We got China basically to purchase our
The hooker's
oil.
dead.
They're no longer backing Iran. They're completely and utterly contingent on us. And the craziest part is, we're talking about Taiwan. They're not invading Taiwan if they need oil from us. And we can just say, actually, fuck you, no more oil, and then they'll stop. So the reality is, they have their hands tied, and they know it.
New York Times is reporting our military is preparing for another round of attacks, this time more aggressive. The attacks can come as early as
The
Monday.
gay Ayatollah knows a thing or two about getting impaled.
Additional Iranian military targets are on the table. That includes infrastructure.
Donald Trump just finished on Iran.
The president's still reportedly considering a special operations raid to pull out the nuclear dust and possibly a ground assault on Karg Island.
That'd be crazy! Oh my god, that would be insane. Dude! And pray for our troops, because it's dangerous, but that would be unbelievable. We get their nuclear dust. If we take Karg Island, this is the most America First war in the history of the world. But, Dux, are you just saying it's for oil? And what if we end up getting tons of oil out of it? For those of you unaware, Karg Island is responsible for 90% of Iran's oil. If we take Karg Island, we could just let Iran strangle itself until the Iranian Revolution actually overthrows their Islamic captors that have been conquering them and torturing them for the last 47 years. That would be fucking insane.
We hit Karg Island, everything but the oil. That's we left that one little thing that said stay 50 yards away. And I said to General Rosenthal, I said, General,
That guy didn't have a key.
sit 4 or 5 minutes. I said, no, seriously, how long?
Oscar lied to me. I'm gonna go see why Oscar lied to me.
He said, no, only 4
Bringing my bat for a walk.
the whole island.
That's my
Don't mind
goal.
me.
They left the
Yeah.
miles over there.
You see, the thing is, they're not mad.
Caught by himself.
They're mad that we're winning.
Oh, I was
A
so
lot of
tempted.
leftoids
So
use
tempted.
about asymmetric warfare. They say if the warfare is not a fair fight, if the warfare is asymmetric, if one fighting force is way more powerful than the other fighting force, it means it's not fair. Joe Rogan even said this yesterday, by the way. He was like, yeah, but a civil war in Syria is like, they're both relatively equally strong, but Israel versus Gaza, Israel is a lot stronger. I'm sorry, we don't measure morality on how effective we are at obliterating our enemies. All right, just to be clear, I'm happy that we're a lot stronger than Iran, and I am really happy that we're able to kill the fuck out of those terrorist pedophiles without them killing us back. Like, this is the most cucked, left-minded bullshit I've ever seen in my life. This is ultimate feminism, okay? DEI, we need to, like, get retards in our military to even out the playing field. Sorry, no, we need a win.
That's where they are. So just in case.
Hey, buddy.
The United States
How you
has used a
doing?
ceasefire to rearm our
Do you like that I moved the big chair out here?
More than 50,000
You like that better than the
aircraft carriers, dozens
the
of
little
destroyers,
wheelie
and
chair
scores of warplanes
rolling all over the
standby.
place while you're trying to
This
sleep in it?
includes 5,000 Marines and 2,000 paratroopers from the 82nd. Bridge and Power Plant Day could be next week.
Oh,
Did you underestimate the pain tolerance that Iran has?
I didn't underestimate anything. We hit them unbelievably hard.
I'm just really good at things.
Look, we left
I
their
never got seeds.
we left their electricity capacity. We can knock that all out in 2 days.
Every single person in Iran that is currently living and breathing, we did them a favor personally.
2 days, everything.
We didn't have to do that.
Even with all the firepower, back home, the press still thinks we're losing.
You should be ashamed of it. I actually think it's treason. When you write like,
Okay.
you're doing well militarily and have no Navy, no Air Force, no anti-anything. By the way, we knocked out 85% of their manufacturers of missiles. I had a total military victory. But the fake news, guys like you, write incorrectly. You're a fake guy. And
Yeah,
guys like you,
cook 'em.
I actually think it's sort of treasonous what you write. But you in the New York Times and CNN, I would say, are the worst.
We're winning the war, but the Iranians are very slippery. They like to stall and play games, but in the end, they don't have a lot of options. Make a deal or good night.
Hey, what's
Chuck
up?
wants to wrap this
No,
thing.
they have two options. Option one, they kiss the ring, they completely and utterly fold, they kiss the ring, and they disappear in humiliation. Option two, they die. Those are the two options. I hope they make the right choice.
Nope, just like everybody else.
American
Man, I am so tired.
Nothing
of this
so
New
far.
World order ideology of liberalism. Like
I might have to
this
jack this cop with a bat, but
this
I don't know.
neo-Marxist garbage that actually winning wars is bad. But I am telling you, we are dealing with the gayest fucking people on planet Earth. All right, winning wars is awesome. Winning wars are what you're supposed to do. I'm not advocating for starting wars, but once the war starts, I want to win. What are we even doing here? And not only do I want to win, I want to win overwhelmingly. I want to overwhelmingly dominate and obliterate our enemy. I'm so tired of this absolute dog shit political talking points that the 2,000 Iranians died and only 5 Americans died. It's not fair. Well, thank God we didn't lose 2,000 people. Excuse me, what? And this is literally the talking points that we see all the time, and everyone runs with this garbage.
That's over, right?
Yeah, look, Vietnam lasted 19 years. Iraq was like 10 years. Korea was 7 years. Another one was 14 years. Another one was 12 years. Another one was 9 years. We're in there for 2.5 months.
This is right. This is objectively correct. All the coping and screaming is a massive psyop perpetrated by leftoids, Islamoids, and honestly backstabbing people on the right that are, I guess Israel first people that think that Israel is the #1 problem with everything wrong on the planet. Like these complete fucking retards that are more than happy to stab our country in the back and in the heart just because to own the Jews or something. Like, to understand, one of their major arch nemesis is this guy Randy Fine. Okay, Randy Fine is a congressman in Florida. I think he's the one religious Jewish congressman in the entire country. He's fucking great. Like, I don't know, man. His foreign policy's shit, but I don't care about his foreign policy because he is a domestic congressman.
A lot of these people hide it. I think one of the
Your
things to
friend has a
them
birthday today.
is
My
we don't
birthday's
even
tomorrow.
know who the dual citizens are. So we know, for example, in the case of Ilhan Omar, she was born a citizen of Somalia. Unless she chose to give it up, she's still a citizen of Somalia. And certainly the way that she acts and all of the people she helped defraud this country in Minnesota in order to help Somalia would suggest it. Many of her public remarks say she's Somalia first. We don't know. But
Yeah.
this would say, again, someone like Ilhan Omar,
Yeah.
assuming she's still a citizen of Somalia, would have to give it up. You're either American or Somalian.
That's right.
Look, we don't want foreigners serving in Congress.
Yes.
I don't want French citizens serving in
Based.
Congress. I don't want Armenian citizens serving in Congress. I don't want Israeli citizens serving in Congress.
Based, yes,
The only people who
exactly.
should be serving in Congress are American citizens. A lot of these people.
Like, am I supposed to hate this guy? This is fucking awesome. Patriot. All right, Representative Randy Fine says New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani does not belong in America. Patriot, am I right? Like, what are we doing here? Are we serious? Are we willing to let our world, our country, get absolutely bereaved and thronged with third worlders and retards because the fat Jew is in Congress? I'm sorry, man. Now, just to understand the stranglehold that our movement actually does have on the country. Incumbent Senator Bill Cassidy will lose the Louisiana Republican primary. He becomes the first elected senator since Richard Lugar in 2012 to lose his seat in a primary. And you know why? Because he hates Trump. That's right. Cassidy voted to convict Donald Trump following his 2021 impeachment trial, and now he's gone. Congressional Republicans who voted to impeach Trump, remaining 3, no longer in Congress, 14. Complete and utter orange domination. It's over, bro. Come into my big orange hands, Bubba. I will give you a hug, and I will squeeze your life out. Every single person that's gonna be a backstabbing bitch that fucking hates our country. Because yes, that's what giving Democrats power means. If you want to give the Democrats power, it means you hate our country. All right, there is no other perspective here. These guys are openly saying they want to pack the Supreme Court, make Puerto Rico and D.C. states, and just forever win elections with illegal aliens that get amnesty. All right? Sorry, bro. Sorry, bro. And this is what our country needs to do, by the way. We need to hold our politicians accountable because they work for us. And every single time they're a backstabbing, anti-American bitch, they lose. And they will be terrified, and they will stay in line, and we will get radical motherfuckers that will push our country into the true golden age. All right, just in, Trump calls Thomas Massey a disloyal, ungracious, unsanctimonious fool. All right, so Thomas Massey.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Is currently,
I didn't mean that, buddy.
Tuesday,
I'm sorry about that.
Against Ed Galrain.
Damn it, I wanted to order this.
Over two very difficult, highly unreasonable Republican votes are right in the great Commonwealth of Kentucky, which I won by 31 points, parading around like fools for the worst Republican congressman in the history of our country, our party. His name is Thomas Massey. He is disloyal, ungracious, and a sanctimonious fool who almost never votes for even the best Republican values. The man running against Massey, Ed Galrain, is a true American patriot, a farmer from Kentucky, a military hero.
Alright, the arcade.
All the way, vote for Ed Galrain. Wipe away the stench of one of the worst congressmen in the history of our great party, Thomas Massey. May we never have to deal with him again, President Donald J. Trump. Now, Thomas Massey is an unbelievably popular figure. And Ed Galrain kind of came out of nowhere just with the Trump endorsement. And it's
What am I going here for?
Fact,
I need to...
Ed Galrain is leading in the polls right
Right
now.
there.
Trump doesn't stop. He keeps posting images of Thomas
Alright.
Massey hanging out with different
And
women.
then,
What's going on there? What's happening here? So one of Thomas Massey's ex-women, basically accused him of all sorts of disgusting shit, like silencing her with thousands of dollars, firing her, extorting her, allegedly.
Damn.
Community notes. So originally, this Laura Loomer character, who I find a little bit retarded, not gonna lie,
Hey.
a gigantic post about how Randy Fine says that he was approached by Cynthia West, Thomas Massey's accuser, last year in Florida about Thomas Massey, with alleged financial ties to Iran.
Alright, I thought you were out, but apparently not.
Ex-girlfriend, etc., yada yada, long thing. There was a community note here that said that that's unconfirmed. And bro just came out and confirmed it. And he was like, no, actually that's just true. Actually, that is confirmed, given the community notes on this post, publicly confirming that, yes, that did happen. That this guy actually did allegedly get funds from Iran. Now, if you look at Thomas Massey's top donors, now, honestly, if you've been paying attention, this shouldn't surprise you. If you look at the top donors to Thomas Massey's campaign, based Republican, am I right? They're all Muslims. Marouk Zaid, Marouk Sam, Marouk Ranim, Marouk Muhammad, Marouk Rania, Marouk Zaid. These guys are his top donors, each of them donating $7,000 at a time. Pretty funny number, honestly. And that's basically what we're looking at. That's what we're looking at. We're looking at who's propping this guy up. I wonder what his values actually are. Terrible news for Thomas Massey, by the way. Iran announced that the Strait of Hormuz is open to all ships. Just absolutely horrifying news for Thomas Massey. Now, Ro Khanna, third worldist slime, by the way, all right, says Thomas Massey is a man of character. He's the type of congressman our founders envisioned. Oh, sure, our founders, Ro Khanna. All right, I hope his constituents will see his courage, independence, sincere love. Right, so, and a quote from the New York Times. So you have the New York Times and the most third world of congressmen supporting Thomas Massey to be a Republican. Why? Weird. Stephen Miller says, Khanna is most well known for two things: supporting the third world resettlement in the U.S. and supporting Thomas Massey. Make of that what you will. So this guy, John Doyle, dropped a 2-minute bomb going through every single time Thomas Massey voted against Republican interests.
Oh, you think Thomas Massey should actually vote for ICE funding? You freaking Shabbos Goy Jew cuck. Go kiss the wall. Thomas Massey doesn't take money from...
Like, you don't understand. There is an entire movement that's like, oh, he took money from AIPAC, we gotta get rid of it. Oh, he does. He's anti-Israel? Bam, get him in. I don't care if he votes to flood our country with infinite Mohammeds. That shit's cool.
Freaking AIPAC, so he's based. That's all cool. That's freaking sick, dude.
sick.
Those factors do not suddenly absolve...
For the record, I'm against all foreign lobbying in general. I'm just saying that just because you're like, I'm based and I don't kiss the wall. Anyway, let's let in 1,000 billion Mohammeds into our country.
Him for being on literally every other issue.
Yes.
This leads into my most important criticism of Thomas Massey. He is literally an open borders globalist. Bold claim. Thomas Massey is, at his core...
He also stirred up the Epstein hysteria, making believe Trump's a pedophile.
a libertarian. That is his ideology. That informs every decision he makes. Libertarians support open border. You'll hear all sorts of libertarians talk about their own little variation of libertarianism that doesn't support open borders. Libertarians do not believe the state should be able to regulate the movement of people. They believe borders are these ambiguous constructs. No human is illegal. This is a fundamental belief that libertarians and Thomas Massey share with the radical left.
That's
in
right.
2019.
There's a reason why Thomas Massey and Ilhan Omar worked together to take down Trump. Sorry, this isn't the based Giga Chad that I want in our fucking party whatsoever.
Thomas Massey voted to end it.
Man, I'm not a big fan of the GOP. I'm not a big fan of the Republican Party as it is, but I am a big fan of molding it into the Republican Party of my dreams, which is a far-right nationalist movement that's pro-America. Sorry, bro.
Emergency funding for President Trump's border wall. Last year, Thomas Massey voted
He
against.
voted against the border wall, bro. Oh my god. And then they're like, oh, the reason why Donald Trump doesn't like him is because of the Epstein files. Get the fuck out of here, bro. This guy sucks.
The one big beautiful bill which secured the greatest increase in funding for ICE and mass deportations. It also allocated funds for the border wall, which currently is being built at record pace. Thomas Massey opposes E-Verify. He believes that companies should not be required to confirm the citizenship and work eligibility of potential hires.
Are you
Thomas
serious?
Massey voted against additional funding for ICE and DHS earlier this year.
In my opinion, when I saw that, I was off the Massey train. I'm not gonna lie. I already didn't like the guy from like a lot of his weird like backstabby things. He's like, oh, I just want justice for the victims, which is why I'm calling Trump a pedophile. I'm like, all right, whatever. Obviously, the way the Trump administration handled the Epstein shit was bungled tremendously. But when I saw he refused to fund ICE and DHS, I was like, this guy is scum. Get him out, bro.
HR 7147. He has co-sponsored bills to increase visa caps and legal immigration. Just 2 months
get
ago,
him
in
out.
March, he voted in favor of an amendment that would require ICE to obtain warrants before conducting deportations, which would just bureaucratize the entire process and effectively neuter ICE
That's the point,
altogether.
yes.
Of course, the point, which is why the left likes that too. Thomas Massey is an open borders globalist. If it walks like a duck, looks like a duck, passes bills like a duck, it's a duck, dude. You don't realize that mass migration is the most important issue specifically because it impacts every other issue that you may be concerned about. You do not deserve to represent Republican voters in Washington, D.C. You are looking out for big corporations, their desire for cheap labor. That is why billionaires finance you. If you want to make America great again, make sure Thomas Massey loses this election. Oh, yeah.
Damn, bro. Bro, you go up against the orange man, you end up completely shattered. Don't vote for a third world.
Hey
open
there,
borders
shirtless guy. You want to buy something?
Just because he didn't kiss the wall. That's the psyop, and so many decent people are falling for it.
There it is.
The AAA video game bubble has burst. I don't think this is true entirely, but I know
You
why
alright,
they're
dude?
saying it.
You're
Let's watch it.
The video game industry is currently in the thralls of a paradox.
Yeah.
For players, it could be argued
Wow,
we're in
that
one
was
of the
weird.
greatest times for gaming.
I agree.
There's incredible breadth of choice across consoles, handhelds, and
Old
PCs,
Shirley,
made
huh?
ever more accessible through gaming subscription services like Xbox Game Pass and PlayStation Plus. But from an industry perspective, things could not be more dire. More and more studios seem to be closing, original IPs are being scrapped mid-development.
I mean, like, this is... the thing is that... I mean, bro, she was so... Why didn't they not... They really should have just made that go... Damn. That's... What the fuck? And so, anyway, I think it's because the studios were over hiring. They have a bunch of people in there. Like, this is a big problem that I think a lot of people in corporate have, is that they just bring in more and more people. Just more and more people. And eventually you have, like, such a large component of the actual, like,
Forgot what I was gonna
of the
do.
company that doesn't
Oh,
actually
I was over here to
contribute
drop off
to
money.
the
That's
product.
right.
Like, they're not doing anything for the product. They're not improving the product. They're not making it better. They're not even helping the product. They're just there.
IPs are being scrapped mid-development, and vast
yeah.
legions of game developers, programmers, artists, and animators have been cut loose. To put it simply,
like, I mean, look, can't we just talk about the fact, like, who the fuck wants to do this? What is this? Like, in between, like, a Pride rally, Burning Man, and Mad Max? What the fuck is this? Like, what kind of stuff? It doesn't make any
Downtown.
sense.
Blonde
weird.
man with a jacket. I heard he beat
Yeah,
up
who
the
does
one
this?
dude.
animators have been cut loose. To put it simply, the AAA video game bubble
Well,
has
lady with a
finally burst.
jacket.
Yeah.
Across the past 2 years, over 23,000 jobs in the video game industry were lost, with a staggering 6,000 in
There's
January
old home slice
2024
again.
alone. Over 30 video game development studios have ceased operations, including Arcane
I
Austin,
ain't trying
Volition,
again.
and most recently Firewalk Studio.
You want to know what they all have in common is that they're Western development studios. Capcom is hiring people, and From Software increased their wages. The problem is that AAA Western gaming studios are infested with like 3 or 4 different types of rot that they seemingly can't get rid of, and it's killing their games. The fact is that Monster Hunter is going to be a AAA game, and it's going to be massively fucking successful. Path of Exile 2 is a AA game that is better than basically any AAA game. Let's be real, like it is Western American, especially American, and a lot of European game developers. They are the ones that have no fucking idea what they're doing. That's the real problem.
What's worse is
$5.
this trend only shows signs of continuing
$5.
rather than diminishing. So how did we get here? Well, some analysts have concluded these closures and redundancies are a necessary remedy to companies having overextended themselves in response to inflated demand in the market during the COVID-19 pandemic.
That guy
While
was
that's
packing,
undeniably a
so.
factor, that's just one of many issues that have been gestating for years within the AAA project bubble. Just 5 years ago, AAA projects' average budget ranged from $50 to $150 million. Today, the minimum average is $200 million.
Jesus.
Call of Duty's new benchmark.
So it more than doubled or quadrupled in 5 years. But where's that money going?
Is
Where's it going?
$300 million, with
Yeah.
Activision admitting in the Competition and Market Authority's report on AAA development.
And
that it
also,
now
like, here's another thing. I'm gonna just say it. Like, you know who plays games like this? Guys play games like this.
Oh, way back here by the
They do.
fire
Girls
station.
don't play
Never
games
mind.
like
All right.
this. Some do, sure. But this is mainly a guy game. And you need to stop putting girl boss characters in games that are made for men. Because there's a big difference. There are games that are made for men and games that are made for women. Every other form of media has this and acknowledges it. But somehow in video gaming, we have to pretend like it's not real. It is obviously fucking real. So they keep making content for, quote, everybody, and nobody wants it. Girl Bros, yeah, it's ridiculous. Girl Boss is fine if it's demonstrated. Well, yeah, but the Resident Evil lady, like that who's talking about, she was really hot. That's the main thing. And also, she was like the villain, and like it wasn't even you. What's that, Stellar Blade? Yeah, Stellar Blade character is really hot. Like, Stellar Blade is a game that's made to appeal to men. The people that made Stellar Blade made that game, and their target audience
Eat shit
were
and
men.
die. Ray.
Yeah, some girls play Stellar Blade, they like Stellar Blade, but it's a guy game. For sure. The Gooners, yeah, absolutely. And this is part of the rot that AAA, like Western AAA studios have. Is that they do stuff like this. No, this is like, what the fuck?
Authority's report.
Sorry,
which
Lud,
Gene
I'm not
Hackman
doing it
now
to you.
takes the efforts of 1.5 studios just to complete the annual Call of Duty title. But it's far from just Call of Duty facing ballooning costs. In the same CMA report, an anonymous publisher admits that development costs for one of its franchises reached $660 million, with $550 million of marketing costs on top, which makes it a $1.2 billion game.
Wow.
To put that into
Is that Diablo?
perspective, Minecraft, the
That's
world's
probably Diablo.
best-selling video game of all time, only broke $3 billion last year, and keep in mind that's what it made since it launched way back in 2011.
Yeah.
The realities of these budgets mean entire publishing houses are
To
massively
be fair, I could see that data being not completely relevant because of how much merchandise and media that exists that uses the Minecraft IP. You know, it's like, you know, the whole George Lucas, why is he the richest director, right? But I don't know.
overstretched and are now desperately facing the consequences. If their developers' huge projects don't make money immediately, they gotta go. Sega's sci-fi
Well, go to
shooter
the pawn
Super Game
shop before I
Hyenas
go
was
there.
in development at Creative Assembly for 7 years, and just as it was publicly playable,
Well, this is again, like, I have to say, like, I mean, stop making characters with ugly female. Like, if you make a game with an ugly female character, I will automatically assume your game is garbage because nobody wants that. Women don't want that, and men don't want that. Straight up. Like, I don't even understand how this is even a conversation.
First time via alpha testing, it was promptly canceled. The reason? Sega preemptively concluded that Hyenas couldn't make its money back. Blizzard's survival project Odyssey had a similar trajectory. Odyssey would
this, bro. This is the most retarded, cringe, millennial shit that I've ever seen. This is so obnoxious and weird. Like, really? Like, I mean, what the fuck is this? It's a children's game? I guess so. It's also just ugly? Yeah, it's just so weird.
Couldn't make its money back. Blizzard's survival project Odyssey had a similar trajectory. Odyssey would have been the studio's first new IP in 8 years, and given the market's love for games like Minecraft and Rust, such a gaming titan should have undoubtedly made waves with this project.
No.
Microsoft acquired Activision Blizzard, though. The project was swiftly killed with little reason publicly given beyond inconveniences in switching engines to increase player count on the server.
Guys, Overwatch 2 is a joke. Heroes of the Storm was a joke. Diablo 4 was a joke. You really think this game was good? Like, I mean, why would anybody think this game was good? I mean, really, like, why are we assuming that it was this great game? HOTS was fun? No, it wasn't. If it was fun, more people would have played it. I understand it's popular to say, like, oh, I like this game that's not popular anymore. No, there's a reason why they stopped playing. They stopped promoting it because nobody played the game because it wasn't fun.
These examples of the current AAA publishing cull reflect a deep-rooted fear to engage with anything new and original. Publishers perhaps more risk-averse than ever to stray out of their established IP safety bars. But even well-known IP that could be worth millions in sales and revenue is being left to rot. Despite owning Infamous, Jak and Daxter,
Please say Killzone.
Killzone, Resistance.
Yes! So fucking true. I know!
And Sly Cooper, to name a few entries in PlayStation's sprawling dormant library, Sony CFO Hiroki Totoki recently claimed the company lacks enough original IP to consolidate itself as a true gaming powerhouse.
What a... It's fucking so stupid. This is the second game I had this one.
You talking to him?
What Totoki may mean is that Sony's older catalog of library IP does not fit the mold of what every publisher has been mindlessly chasing for the better part of
See, like, Killzone should be the American version of Stalker. It should be like in between Stalker and Space Marine 2. Killzone was great, by the way. Yeah, that's where it should be, and it's just not there. Killzone's trash. It was really fun back whenever it came out. It was like 2005, something like that.
Decade, the next big live service money printer.
Yeah. I never played
It's
this.
difficult to imagine much fanfare for a Sly Cooper reboot where Bentley and Murray are purchased to play, grand heists or season pass bonuses, and worlds are delivered half-baked instead of fully formed. It's undeniable that on some level the video game market has changed forever because of this live service model. New video games don't just have to compete with new rivals, but somehow find space in an increasingly
Bullshit. Dragon Age. Even though this game didn't sell well. Armored Core 6. Let's see. What else do we have? I've uninstalled a lot of games. Dragon's Dogma 2. Grand Blue Fantasy Relink. They had a couple of updates and they stopped. What else do we have? Elden Ring. Metaphor. There's another one. Yeah, Metaphor. Right there. So, it's just bullshit. This idea that every game has to be live service, just total fucking bullshit.
crowded market dominated by decade-old titles like Fortnite and Grand Theft Auto Online.
Because
games which will continue
you
to
want
hold.
to know why Fortnite is so popular? It's because it plays flawlessly. It is such a good game to play. It's good in the way that classic WoW is good.
Higher player counts than many of the best sellers of the last few years. But live service titles require investment of not just money, but also time to find their audience, neither of which was afforded to Firewalk Studios' Concord. The crew of Concord's North Star will never fly again. The recent fate of Concord's Firewalk Studios serves as a microcosm for the increasingly bleak outlook for the next few years in video game development.
I feel like a lot of these big gaming publications and gaming channels don't want to address the elephant in the room, which were the elephants in the character selection screen on Concord. No one wants to play, like, a mix between, I don't know, like somebody on My 600-Pound Life and Doom Guy. They don't want to do that. Nobody wants to play that. Like, it wasn't appealing at all. So, yeah, I'm sorry, but like, it's just not gonna, like, it's just that nobody wanted this. Nobody asked for this. And so, the 600-pound Doom Guy, yeah, exactly, right? And when these studios keep making games that have, and I'm sorry, but like, I know I talk about this a lot. I'm sure people are kind of annoyed by it. But like, if I see like some kind of weird like identity politics shit in a game, my probability of wanting to play that game goes down by a lot. And it's not even because of the identity politics. It's about the fact that I'm good at recognizing patterns. And I've seen patterns happen a lot where it's, oh, this game is like this, it has this feature, that means it's going to have a bunch of other garbage too. That's it. That's their focus. Yeah, and it's like, I don't want to see that in a game. I think that's weird. It's exhausting. Yeah, it's fucking weird. And so like, the studios keep doing this, and like, I don't know how you can look at the releases of these games and the entire media space collectively saying, not collectively, obviously people disagree, right? But people saying like, we don't want these games with like these like weird modern social issues attached to them. People have been begging, please stop making identity politics part of your video game. Please stop doing it. And they don't stop doing it, and people don't buy the games. It's that simple. It's the same with movies and TVs. Yeah, people aren't buying them, and that's the reason why you have these foreign developers that are doing so well. Yeah, please stop with body type A and B. Only happens with AAA stuff. Yeah, well, that's why AAA is the ones that are making people that are losing money. When do you think they'll wake up? They won't. They're going to have to get fired, and the studios will have to get shut down because you can't get rid of these people. And so it's like an infection. Like when you get infected with something like this, you just have to cut off the entire arm. That's it. They said they're not going to stop no matter the cost. Well, I mean, they're going to say that until it costs too much. But either way, that's what happens. And I think that's a huge reason. I mean, like, yeah, Concord was a bad game, sure. But it was also, like, if you look at the initial reception of the game, if you read the comments, everybody was, like, super negative about it. It's the same thing with Dragon Age. And, like, at a certain point, you can't just pretend that having this massive, overwhelming consumer sentiment doesn't matter. It fucking matters. It obviously fucking matters. Of course it matters.
Concord was Firewalk's first game, its baby in many ways. An 8-year development bolstered by a Sony acquisition and a reported cash injection of $200+ million. PlayStation reportedly believed it had the next Star Wars-esque franchise on its hands.
Yeah, they did.
But the game struggled significantly across both its beta testing period and launch, and was soon completely shut down by Sony just weeks after it was released. Firewalk closed for business shortly thereafter. Concord's downfall happened faster than any other failed game of the live service era.
Don't joke about something like this.
Just a decade earlier, though,
I feel like that happened with a couple of other live service games recently, but it wasn't really that bad. Like Concord, I feel like was the big one.
A similar disaster was plaguing Blizzard's Diablo 3. The crippling Error 37 message made the game unplayable, and fans worldwide decreed the absolute failure to launch. Soon after, the game's real money auction house left players with a foul taste in their mouth that Diablo 3's reputation was roasting in the fires. Instead of abandoning it, Blizzard repaired the game, removed the auction house, and then fundamentally upgraded and evolved it to Diablo 3 2.0 with its Reaper of Souls expansion, finally cementing its comeback as a...
It's going alright. I'm about to kill a hooker.
Wrong. The reason why Diablo 3 wasn't very good at launch is because the game was completely unbalanced. That's really the reason. There's not a lot to it. And
$3. Last time she had 375 on her.
The end game content for the game good. The guy that was like the person who made the game, like one of the directors, like what he went and said is he said, we made the game really hard, so what we did is we just doubled all of the numbers. Like, okay, so, and then, because I beat Inferno before it got nerfed. I did. Did not beat it on hardcore like Caparian did, but I did beat it. It was totally broken garbage. There was desyncing issues. The game just functionally did not play well. And this is especially true with every other act besides Act 1.
Oh shit,
because
I was
Act
supposed
1 was
to...
in the
Oh
Diablo
man.
3 beta, and none of the other acts were tested at all. So you would go through Act 1, and it was this flawless, great experience. And then the moment that you go into Act 2, you would have to be dodging grenades that spawned off screen, and then you would have to be dodging wasps that were invisible. It was just total garbage.
Story to what we saw with CD Projekt Red's hard-fought battle to win Cyberpunk 2077 fans back after a disastrous launch. If Concord's alleged $200+ million budget had been lowered and the project direction refocused as a spark for a new universe rather than a big bang, it doesn't seem hard to believe that it could have found an audience with some Blizzard or CDPR-like shepherding from Sony. Many projects that came to Concord could be the medium-sized successes they deserve to be if not for the financial corners these publishers find themselves painted into. And really, maybe some publishers should consider steering clear of these financial quarters entirely. Gamers are beginning to wane interest in these monolithic projects. You need only look at a top-rated games of 2024 list. While 2023's award lists were littered with...
It's because Baldur's Gate 3 was a good game and it didn't... Almost every single one of the games that didn't do well had some form of messaging that a lot of people didn't like. Like, if you look at Dragon Age, if you look at Concord, I feel like those are probably the two biggest ones, right? Baldur's Gate 3 was in early access forever? Yeah, it was. And so, Baldur's Gate 3 had a message? Well, Baldur's Gate 3 let you do whatever you wanted, right? That's really it. Yeah, oh yeah, Suicide Squad, Justice League, Star Wars Outlaws, yeah, exactly. All of these games, in my opinion, were infected with unrelatable, weird social messaging that an average person wouldn't be able to appreciate or like. I think that's really the problem. It's a huge thing. And it's like, I don't see how you can, like, you have all of these points and they're making this perfect line, but you won't draw the line. You won't say, wow, what do all of these games have in common? People are more pissed about Batman? Yeah, sure.
AAA titles from 500-strong studios, 2024 show a revitalized hunger for a smaller, more independent spirit. Arcade machine throwback UFO 50, the Metroidvania-esque Animal Well, poker roguelike Balatro, and text-based pixel art adventure The Crimson Diamond are just some of the games you'll see appearing again and again on these lists. Despite their numerous differences, they share one thing in common: a smaller, more refined experience that recalls earlier eras of gaming where marriages and mechanics and storytelling were key through technological craftiness, rather than literal...
I think this is actually true too, where a lot of games, the scope of them becomes so large that they just collapse under their own weight, basically. If Elgar was close to Baldur's Gate 3, you could be able to call out Tash for her bullshit. Well, what you would have been able to do is you'd be able to kill her.
Oh man!
The thing is that a lot of these games don't want to.
How you doing, buddy?
They don't want to tell stories that have shades of gray because they're.
I'm gonna do a little toke here in a sec.
That's the issue.
Spread them
country-sized
toes.
game worlds. The nostalgia
Spread them
they bring for
toes.
Video game generations are central to the heart of their creation. They just want you to pick them up and have a good time. The slow but increasingly clear pivot of video game audiences to a potential indie renaissance is a clear message to publishers that if everything is bigger and bolder, who possibly has the time and energy to play more than 1 or 2 games each year?
And that's also the big issue too, especially with live service games, is that the amount of time that you need to invest to maintain relevance in a live service game is like a small job. It's like you have to spend maybe 5 to 10 hours a day to maintain relevance and keep up with live service games. And because of that, guess what? A lot of people don't want to do it. Because like you're already invested, like this is one of the big problems that I think a lot of gacha games have now, is that basically every gacha game is designed the exact same. And they all require a certain amount of time in order to do dailies and stuff like that. You can't play at your own pace. Yeah, exactly, right? You're basically on a conveyor belt whenever you play live service games, where you can't get too far behind and you can't get too far ahead. So it's not like, because a lot of people, the fact isn't that like, in a normal person's life, they generally don't have exactly 45 minutes to play a video game every day. They have 4 to 5 minutes to play a video game, and then they have 4 to 5 hours on the weekend, maybe. So you have, it's not like people are going to want to log in to dedicate the same 15 minutes a day every single day in, right? Like, for example, like even I'm like this. There'll be days where I don't play any games, and there'll be other days where I play video games for 8 hours. And that's real life, right? And so when you have these live service games that are built around these like retention mechanisms that keep you logging in every day, what you do is the actual casual players that play them, they can't get ahead on the days that they have off, and they fall behind on the days that they can't play. And so you're losing people from both sides. And I think also, like, there's so many of them now competing for your same attention and money that it's kind of like streaming services, where it's like, well, I don't want to deal with streaming services anymore because there's so many of them.
I'll tell you the definition of insanity.
That's not to undercut the difficulty in getting those independent titles made, mind you. UFO 50's Mossmouth LLC team consisted of 6 developers working over many years, while both Animal Well and the Crimson Diamond share similar stories of being crafted by solo developers, Billy Basso and Julia Minamata respectively, over several years.
Yeah.
Even a smash hit like Lethal Company started life as a one-man band developer, Zeekers, learning to develop games on Roblox before expanding his knowledge. All of these developers put everything they had over several years of their lives into creating these games, not in pursuit of money, but because of a passion. And this is why they don't need humongous worlds or 300 plus side quests to tick off. These games all feel like lean enjoyment machines.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of games that are like that. And I feel like that mouth-washing game is another really great example for it, is that graphics don't matter, style matters. Like the style of mouth-washing, the graphical style of it, like especially when you were pointing the gun at that guy at the end of it, absolute fucking cinema. Or like him dancing in front of that thing, or like there were a couple of other moments where it was just like the style of the game was incredible. So why is it a problem? Like, why do we keep focusing on having like real known actors play characters in video games? Like, is this really, like, outside of a Kojima game, like, is this really anything that people care about? No, nobody gives a shit about this. Metaphor graphics are really bad, but style is overbearing. Yeah, well, Metaphor has like a weird dichotomy because all of its like hand-drawn art is, in my opinion, some of the best art that there is. It's fucking phenomenal. I love it. But the actual in-game graphics are fucking terrible. Yeah, like in terms of like the fidelity, it's a lot like Elden Ring. It's like From Software? Yeah, exactly, right?
It feels like the top end of the video game industry is currently faced with 2 paths to choose from. The first is the status quo. It can continue to engorge on bigger budgets with impossibly open yet incredibly empty worlds filled with 80 plus hours of content, about 10 of which have any meaning to its players, and or hopelessly pursue the live service train which left the station over 5 years ago with late passengers wondering why the money isn't rolling in anymore. These billion-dollar gambles could pay off, but it's seeming less and less likely every day. Conversely, companies could opt for a second path and take a page out of Julia Minamata, Billy Basso, so in Zeeker's books, a wider breadth of projects, smaller in scope and scale, with a refined focus on gameplay mechanics and perhaps a return to older styles of video games long dormant. Projects were
I
developed.
don't think that that's even what it is either, because like Dragon's Dogma 2 and Elden Ring and like a lot of games, like it's not like the new style of games are bad, it's just that the new games are bad. Like, because all of these issues, like think about what this guy's saying. Is Nintendo having this problem with Legend of Zelda? No. No, they're not. I mean, these are all problems that are coming from people that are like just Western studios. These are all Western studio problems. Nintendo always make money? Yeah.
Developers aren't afraid to make weirder choices and take some unexpected left turns lest they crash their $400 million ship into a mixed to decent reception and lackluster sales. Maybe studios, and more importantly publishers and shareholders, can remember that we used to play video games because they were fun, not because of their bigger than last year maps carpeted by denser, higher resolution grass that you walk across to finish another piece of side content that pushes you just one digit closer to that 100% completion.
Yeah, I think that's a huge issue. A lot of people are tired of, you know, completionism mechanics being put in. Concord was Sony.
That's what I've been saying.
Concord was a big
like
mistake.
with GTA 6. I don't need bubbles in my beer. I need to play GTA 6.
For Western audiences. I think that's what happened. And also, Sony owned the studio, but the studio that made it was a Western studio.
Plan. Oh, just wasn't the one we started with.
Speaking of which, congratulations, you've almost 100% of this video. What do you think needs changing in the games industry? Do you want bigger games or more games? Sound off in the comments below, and for everything gaming, you are already in the right place. IGN.
I think that another really big toxic thing that gamers have done is they've correlated the quality of a game to the amount of hours that they spend in the game, and the value of the game to the amount of hours they spend in the game. And I don't think that's a good way to look at it. There are a lot of games that I've spent very few hours in, and it was some of the best time that I've ever had. But there are other games that I've spent a lot of hours in, and it wasn't really that great. And so it's because of COVID? Well, maybe, right? But like, I think that this has always been the way that people have seen things. So there's been games that I've played a lot. I put a lot of hours in, but the game was pretty much dog shit. And so, does that really mean that, like, did I have more of a good time with Starfield, or did I have a better time with Undertale? I had a better time with Undertale, even though I only played it for 6 hours. So, that's what I think. And I feel like also, again, this problem is manifest in Western game studios way more than Eastern game studios. Shadow of the Colossus is a 4 to 6 hour game. It's amazing. Yeah, I haven't played it myself, but I'm not surprised. You're telling me games devoid of risk and bloated with microtransactions aren't a sustainable business model? Madness, yeah, crazy. Imagine that. And it's not AAA bubble has to burst. It's a live service bubble. No, it's the AAA bubble. It's the games have too much money. This is also the issue. Is that games are the cost of games is going up like this, and then the amount of money that players will spend on games is like this. So as the costs go up exponentially, players still don't even want to spend $70 for a video game. Think about it. Think about how many things in 2005, because this is 2005, 2006, whenever the 360 came out and they moved up to $30 games, or $60 games, excuse me. How many things that you bought in 2006 or 7 are the same price? Basically fucking nothing. Nothing is. And it's because gamers just don't have that much disposable income, and they don't want to spend that much money, right? So what's happened is that these developers have to find other ways to make money, and the way they do that is by selling early access to the game. They do it by having microtransactions in the game. And this is the natural outcome of a publicly traded company, but at the same time, the fact that gamers are unwilling to spend more money accelerated it. I'm spending $80, $90 on a new game before taxes? Well, I don't know. I mean, you're buying the deluxe edition then, right? Because like I bought video games recently and they're $60 mainly. Like most video games are $60. But I do think this is a very good video, and I also think that, again, a lot of companies and like I think IGN and a lot of other platforms, they don't really want to address the elephant in the room, which is the fact that a lot of the messaging of this games are very overt and they alienate gamers. But I don't think that they want to acknowledge that. And until they are willing to acknowledge it and say, like, listen, like, these are games that kill the guys, you're just going to keep losing.
Now, our glorious orange leader has been dropping nukes on England and Germany and the Euro Cups that honestly have stabbed us in the back, even though we helped them with all their stuff. And it's honestly been pretty incredible. So he tweeted, the Chancellor of Germany should spend more time in any war with Russia Ukraine, where he has been totally ineffective at fixing his broken country, especially immigration and energy, but less time interfering with those that are getting rid of the Iran nuclear threat, thereby making the world, including Germany, a safer place. Now, I saw people recently on one of my videos where I said that it's really nice that our relationship with the European nations is like falling apart. People actually are like, oh, I don't understand. I love the European nations. Why do you like this? And, you know, people get upset at me because they don't realize that when I say things, it comes from a place of absolute cinema. That's where the place comes from. All of these Euro-cuck nations, I like the people of these nations. I like what the nations represent, what they're supposed to be, the biblical values that this Christian civilization is founded upon. Oh, I love all that. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I hate the lib-cuck, leftoid, EU policy garbage that these people have been shoveling down our throats forever. I hate that we are subsidizing 70% of NATO's economy and military while we get absolutely nothing in return. I hate that we're part of the UN where every single one of these lib-cuck nations votes against us every single time on the most garbage bullshit ever. Everything we do is a war crime. Everything we do is bad. We're built on racism. Slavery happened or something. And I am tired of it. Oh, I like that the United States is the world's hegemony, okay? I love that. Don't get me wrong. I don't like being bullied around by retards that need us, and we don't need them. So yeah, actually, fuck these guys. Anyway, that's my very analytical stance. Trump has been dropping nukes, and it's really nice to see.
You talked about possibly pulling out some troops out of Germany. Would you be considering the same thing for Spain and Italy? I mean, they haven't been exactly on board.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, probably will. Why should they, look, why shouldn't they?
Why do we need our people there to help their nations, all right, where our funds are helping these countries, and they will do absolutely nothing in return aside from writing strongly worded letters about how Iran shouldn't have nukes, and strongly worded letters about how Donald Trump cannot invade the sovereignty of a foreign nation that's trying to kill us, and I'm fucking tired of it. We can just do things. We are the world power, and if you don't like it, you can call the international law police.
Italy is not been very help.
They've been gay.
Spain has been horrible. Absolutely horrible.
Communists.
You know, it's NATO. It's not even the fact that they're bad. It's one thing if they said nicely, or if they said, okay, we'll help, but the help's a little slow. But the level, and we helped them with Ukraine. You know, they made a mess out of Ukraine, a total mess. And we helped them with Ukraine. Ukraine has nothing to do with it. You know, we're an ocean apart. It has to do with them. It's like for them, it's their front door. We help them.
That's right.
And Biden gave them $350 billion, which was insane. That's one of the reasons the war went on. But when we needed them, they were not there. We have to remember that. And so if we ever have a big one, because we didn't need any help with Iran. We had Iran right from the first day. It was over. It was over. And now it's even more so. We're so locked and loaded as we want to do. But we didn't need the help. And to a certain extent, I asked them, I didn't need the help, but I said, yeah, we'd love to have you help. Because I wanted to see if they do it.
Oh, shit.
And they in all cases, they said,
they failed.
We don't want to get involved. And
I'm sorry, we're too gay to help you, Mr. President.
The amazing thing is they use the Strait of Hormuz.
I was thinking of helping, and then I realized how much I absolutely love sodomy, so therefore we couldn't be of assistance.
We don't. We don't use it. We don't need it. We have a lot
I would really be very, very inclined to help you, but then I realized, man, we have millions of Muslims that are in our countries, and we really want them to vote for us.
Oil. And, well, wait a minute. And they use it, we don't. And you would have thought they would have said, we would love to help you. But they didn't.
They didn't want to. They didn't want to, and now the Strait of Hormuz is cock-blocked. These people are crying. It actually affects them way more than it affects us. Everyone's crying about the oil crisis this, oil crisis that. It doesn't affect us. America first. We killed those Ayatollah bastards, and unfortunately the Europeans don't want to help them. They're going to actually have some bafo on the way out. Killing you. Anyway, so Pete Hegseth was actually brought in to talk about the war, and Androgynous is insane. He's so fucking good at this. It's crazy. All right, and then I'm going to get into the Eurocunk situation. But first, you have to see this.
I haven't talked about it as much in these hearings because this is a budget hearing about 1.5 trillion that's historic and significant. But underwriting the change that we've seen in our department is a laser focus on getting back to basics. And the key word to that is merit. We had a department that was obsessed with gender, ideology, and race, diversity, equity, and inclusion. In fact, the mantra you would hear dripping from the lips of gender
The hassle
with
pig.
a serious look on their face was, our diversity is our strength.
Get out of my way,
It's the
pig.
single dumbest phrase. Of course, our diversity is not our strength.
Is anything worse than a cop with a ponytail? Yeah, a ginger cop with a ponytail.
And the Constitution.
And we wonder why the leftoids hate this guy. And we wonder why the Euro-Cup nations that imported infinite diversity hires hate this guy. I wonder why.
We serve to defend. And when you clear that debris away, whether it's Marxist ideologies or social engineering or political correctness or quotas based on gender and diversity, you get the best of the best rising up, regardless of gender, regardless of race, motivated by that environment where merit reigns. It's accountability, standards, lethality, readiness, training, all the debris wiped away.
I'm so fucking based for that. He's right. Diversity is not our strength. It's dumb as fuck. Unity is our strength. This shit is so fucking stupid. It's crazy. It's like, it's actually insane. And every single question he's been answering was just I'll just show you one. So Elizabeth Warren is asking him all sorts of questions. Are you being paid by, is it the Jews? Is it the Russians? Who's paying you, right? And he dropped an absolutely insane response.
What I give, what you give, what others give, I'm not looking for money. I don't do it for money. I don't do it for profit. I don't do it for stocks. And that's part of the reason I'm able to...
Does someone we know do it for stocks? Elizabeth Warren, who's worth $300 million somehow?
Be effective in this job. Because no one owns me. No one owns this department. No one owns this president. And we can execute for the American people, and we do. What?
She has a little crash out because obviously she is corrupt as fuck, in my opinion. Anyway, let's take a look at what's going on across the pond in all the countries that are condemning us and currently getting cooked. All right, so this is a nice-looking individual over here. Look at this guy. Oh, wow, he's a mayor. Look at that.
Come on.
Wow, a mayor in England. He must be a really wonderful guy. Ex-Labour mayor slammed by judge for helping hide his son's phone after he raped a 15-year-old girl as he jails her for 3 years and locks up her son for 12. Wow. Wow. So you mean to tell me that this mayor is now in jail because this mayor's son is a rapist that this mayor helped cover up? Wow. Seems to me like England is going very well. Now, just to understand what's actually going on in this case, this is a case where a guy drugged a child, his 15-year-old victim, filmed himself raping, slamming, and choking her. He got a 12-year prison sentence where he will only serve 8. His mayor mother helped him hide his phone, and a character witness describes her as an advocate for women's rights. Do you understand the level of bullshit we're doing? All right, so we import people that advocate for women's rights and use your liberties against you. Your words are just weapons that they wield to destroy you. All right, the foreigners that come in want to use to manipulate you, and she will cover up the brutal rape of a child committed by her son. Understand the level of conquered the West actually is getting, and why these people refuse to help us. Wow. Wow. You mean to tell me a country that has this thing as a mayor is actually not willing to help us fight Iran, terrorist pedophile? Now, this guy, I covered this in great detail in my video yesterday. Terrible terror attack. Guy slit the throat of 2 Jews in England and London in one of the daily terror attacks that happens there right now. This guy, this new news that came out after my last video came out, I just felt like I had to include it because of how perfect it is. This guy is a Somali immigrant who stabbed 2 Jews, but also has a history of violence, including stabbing 2 police officers and police dog in 2008. And after stabbing those 2 police officers and police dog, they still made him a senator. And then he stabbed 2 Jews. What are we doing? 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 This is like the suicidal empathy? No, it's just suicide. But there's no empathy here. This shit's insane. This is absolute insanity. This is crazy. All right, here's some fun statistics for you. The Nice attack, Muslims. Paris attack, Muslims. Shoe bomber, Muslims. Orlando attack, Muslims. Beltway snipers, Muslims. Fort Hood sniper, shooter, Muslims. Underwear bomber, Muslims. Westminster attack, Muslims. Pulse nightclub shooters, Muslims. 2005 Bali bombers, Muslims. Murder of Lee Rigby, Muslims. USS Cole bombers, Muslims. London Bridge attack, Muslims. Madrid train bombers, Muslims. Charlie Hebdo attacks, Muslims. San Bernardino attacks, Muslims. Surabaya bombers, Muslims. Minnesota Mall status, Muslims. 7-7 bombers. You see the list goes on and on. And I think that there is one through line throughout all of these cases that we could find a common denominator, and it's Islamophobia. We really need to be careful about that. So Keir Starmer, he released the whole statement yesterday, which I've already covered. Basically, sat there like Dobby the house elf saying, "Master, Keir Starmer's lost his court, master." Alright, so, he dropped one of these. "Yesterday's terror attack wasn't an isolated incident. It's the latest attack on the Jewish community for being Jewish." Attacked by who? Who attacked the Jewish community? You'll notice a very, very obvious absence in every single statement made by the government. "Today I spoke with volunteers, first responders from Show Women and Solar to thank them for their bravery. I know this is a deeply worrying time for the whole community." Who are they worried about? "My government is taking immediate action." Action against who? Who are you taking action against? "We've increased enhanced funding for police patrols." Oh, good. So the white people taxes is going to pay for Jewish police officers to protect them from Muslim killers. Wow, what a fantastic solution. "Protected security and the fast-track legislation to deal with malign state actors." Like who? "My message to the Jewish people is you belong here." I don't know. You keep importing the natural predator. "And we do everything we can to keep you safe." Except you literally import the natural predator. Are we being serious, man? I don't know. If I was living in London, I would move. I would literally leave. I don't know why these people are staying in London. I'm not gonna lie. I'm sorry, bro. They sold you out. They sold you out. Anywho, and they're all doing this. They all have the same post. Shabana Mahmood, which is Home Secretary, Member of Parliament, in England, "The UK's natural prey has been increased to severe. I know this is a source of concern, particularly among Jewish community." Who are they concerned about? "We should all be vigilant, reporting any concerns." Concerns about who? "And today we've increased funding to protect Jewish community." Oh my god, these people are actually fucking evil. It's insane. It's actually crazy. Now, this is, I think, one of the most telling moments in British television history ever. So this is right after the horrible terrorist attack where 2 Jewish guys were just stabbed by a Muslim guy for being Jewish. Get a load of this one. This is perfect. This is actually perfect. Watch this shit.
The lady from the Green Party, you just stated that you've seen racial hatred in the country.
Right, so, they'll all be out here and be like, "Oh, anti-Semitism bad." Right, sure. You're so right for that one, Queen.
Could you please specify where that hatred is coming from?
Where is the racial hatred coming from? Where is it? Fantastic question, sir. Fantastic question. All right, get ready for the worst answer of all time.
Not quite sure what you mean. Do you mean from the general public, or?
No, it's from Muslims. I'm sorry if this is gonna hurt your feelings, but 2 Jews were just stabbed by Muslims. Jews were shot in Manchester by Muslims. Jews had synagogues burnt to the ground by Muslims. Churches burnt to the ground by Muslims. Jewish ambulance service volunteers destroyed in a firebombing attack by Muslims. The Holocaust Memorial in England was destroyed by Muslims. So yeah, where is the hatred coming from?
Well, she said there's racial hatred in the country, and I'd just like to know where she thinks it's coming from.
That's a great question. Where's it coming from?
I mean, I was talking about the fact that there is a rise in racially motivated crime, that kind of thing.
Yeah, but specifically against Jews and white people, by the way. Those are the races that are actually affected by the current environment of racial hatred. By the way, there's almost 0 hate crimes against Muslims in England, by the way, which is a shock.
There's more and more hate crimes, there's more reports of people...
Yeah, hate crimes, like raping white girls and blowing up Jewish areas, I guess. But who's doing this? Where's the hate coming from?
Feeling uncomfortable.
What's up? What's up, buddy?
You said there's racial hatred. Where do you think it's coming from?
Okay.
This is a good question, right?
What are you getting at exactly?
What are you getting? No, asking you.
Where do you think this racial hatred is coming from?
Great question.
What do you mean? What specific?
See, he can't say it's coming from the Muslim community because they'll put him in jail for hate speech. Welcome to England.
accepted
Well,
as a
I
community.
can actually say that where I
I
think
got
it's
the
coming
large
from
storages now.
is that we live in rip-off Britain and people are having a really, really tough time. They're struggling because their bills are going up. They're struggling because they can't afford their rents.
That's right. They can't afford their rent, so they're stabbing Jews and saying Allahu Akbar before doing it. Right? I can't afford food. I'm going to blow up Jewish ambulances and say Allahu Akbar while doing it. Yep.
I actually think this is the reality. They're struggling because food is now so expensive, it's eye-watering. What that means is that
Right.
there's then a tendency to find someone to blame. And I think that there have been narratives.
Even the people next to her are like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Zia's party is definitely one of these narratives, like the people propagating these narratives, that will point a finger at certain communities to blame them when it is not the fault of those communities.
It's totally not the fault of the Muslim that stabbed the Jews. It's the fault of the economy going to shit because they imported Muslims that don't want to get jobs. It's like wherever you turn, bro.
So I actually think that the economic situation, which is...
You know why the economic situation in England is so fucking shit? It's because they woked their way so close to the sun that they refuse to actually get natural gases and they want to import it from Russia. That's one. And two, it's because they're importing infinite retards from the third world that they pay for their hotels and housing on the British taxpayer.
Disastrous at the moment is a big reason why hate's on the rise. So that's why we need to solve the economic problems. We need to end Britain, make sure ordinary people are having a better life today, not struggling so much. But we also need to really focus on community cohesion and living well together.
Okay, let me...
Prepared to pinpoint where it's coming from.
That is correct. They are not willing to pinpoint where it's coming from. And every single person that's been in England for generations is suffering right now because of the same fucking shit. This same issue, and no one wants to talk about it. So this is Mehdi Hassan. He is a British, American, Indian Muslim. Literally the ultimate combo. All right, so this dude showed up to talk about why, actually, Muslims are stabbing Jews in England.
I've spent my entire adult life, my professional career as a journalist, trying to separate the two out. As you know, I'm a very outspoken critic of Israel, and especially this Israeli government and this genocide in Gaza. But I go out of my way to tell people on my side of the argument, do not do that. Do not conflate Jews and Judaism with Israel or even with Zionism. And look, it becomes more complicated because, of course, many people in the Jewish community do support Israel, and that becomes a problem. I think
it's just a problem, guys. You see, the thing is, since Jews support Israel, of course we're gonna have Muslims stabbing them in the streets of England.
We need to be able to have these conversations, but at the same time all agreeing that violence is never the solution. Anti-Semitic violence is horrific.
Anti-Semitic violence is bad. Anyway, I really hope Hamas goes and rapes a lot more Israelis, but anti-Semitic violence is bad. I support the terrorists.
There was some guy I could ask. There was another guy I could ask about a sewer key.
Like, bro. This is awesome, bro. Mehdi Hassan talks about the stabbing of 2 Jews in London, says it's a problem that Jews support Israel. Her skirt was too short. He just had to rape her. Am I right, guys? And again, this is Mehdi Hassan, who just yesterday, he went on a show talking about something pretty incredible.
These days, Tucker Carlson has a big fan base amongst the anti-war left, who see him as saying the right stuff, trying to stop illegal wars in Iran.
Illegal wars. This shit is so fucking retarded.
And amongst a lot of Muslim who see him now as this great champion of Palestine. Wherever I go, literally, Hassan, wherever I go in this country, I do a lot of live events.
This is the Tucker Carlson fan base, by the way.
I do a lot of public events. People come up to me, when are you doing on Tucker Carlson? When are you going to do an event with Tucker Carlson? Why don't you do a collab with Tucker Carlson? We love Tucker Carlson. Wherever I go. People ask me more about Tucker Carlson, even in my own family, than they ask me about my wife and kids.
It's literally like his family and about his community and his people literally don't fucking care about America whatsoever. They only care about the Muslims conquering Israel or whatever the fuck.
All right.
Thank you for saying the quiet part out loud. Well, Tucker Carlson, congratulations, my guy. You got the whole Mehdi Hassan family on your side. Anyway, this is Zach Polanski. He's in charge of the Green Party, which is like the woke left and the Islamists that got together to be retarded as friends. Horrendous attack in Golders Green, thinking of the victims, their families, and everyone who will once again be shaken by this attack. Who did the attack? Who did the attack? All right, thank you to all those involved in the emergency response. Devastating news from Golders Green from Mothin Ali. The prayers with everyone, we are in emergency, indebted to Hatzalah for immediate response, yada yada. J.K. Rowling, who's just so fucking tired of this, and this is crazy. She was always against the trans shit. She's actually crashing out on the Muslims this time. Why do leaders of the Greens have such a difficulty naming this particular demographic most likely to be shaken and affected by two men from their community having their throats cut out on a London street. Who is doing this, guys? What's going on? Canadian judge Jocelyn Gagné, a woman, probably coincidence, blocked the deportation of an Indian national who killed 16 hockey players.
16.
I think we should keep that guy in Canada. What do you think, guys? Absolutely.
What?
A cafe in Berlin does not allow white people to enter now. I'm just showing you the level of...
Where the hell was that cop come from?
Not bad at all that we're...
Damn, all I want is
Bundesfamilienministerin Karin Pri.
I just want a sewer key.
700,000 euros in public funding in an anti-white cafe that does not allow white people. That's right. A country built by white people, majority white people, has little special ethnic enclaves for anti-white people. Isn't that awesome? So this is Muslim families bringing their children together to watch a gay man get thrown off a rooftop for his death under Sharia law. I don't think I could actually show you the plot, but you get the idea. It very makes a lot of sense that the leftists are super happy to import these guys. Another day, another church on fire in France. This is the Église Saint.
Hey, Ben.
I don't know how to
I
pronounce
need to swap guns with you. Mine's got bodies on it.
So weird how all these churches started getting lit on fire magically right after mass migration started. Wow, it's probably coincidence. You know what else is funny? And I'm thinking about it now. It's kind of weird that we don't have like mosques on fire. It's so weird. Like you'd think that statistically you'd have churches and mosques on fire at a relatively similar rate per capita, but it seems like that's not the case. What a funny coincidence. So this was the funny story of the day. So this is medical aid on the PR stunt flotilla. All right. So remember Greta Thunberg had her little flotilla that she's going to Gaza on this little flotilla to provide aid to the Palestinians that started a war and lost. And with this gigantic virtue signal from the Islamized left in Europe. All right. Well, this is the medical aid.
Oh, you know what? I want to grab.
They searched the boat. The Israeli military searched the boat because obviously there's a blockade and they're not allowed to actually just breach the blockade, actually. All right, that's the funny thing. And so these are the 175 activists from 20 boats of the Condom flotilla making their way peacefully to Israel aboard Israeli vessels because they were stopped. They were stopped by the Israeli military because obviously you can't come into the Israel country illegally or something. All right, so Netanyahu says this, and this is funny as shit. Well done to our Navy. I instructed them to prevent a Hamas-supporting flotilla from reaching the shores of Gaza. The mission was executed with complete success. No ship or no Hamas supporter reached our territory, not even our territorial waters. They were turned back and will return to their countries of origin. They will continue to see Gaza on YouTube. Honestly diabolical shit. Oh my God. All right, and guess who gets involved? Zoran Mamdani, mayor of New York City. Wow, I'm really glad he's taking care of New York's budget crisis. Last night, Israeli forces intercepted and boarded.
Right now, I just got hired 2 people, so I'm saving so I can afford to pay them. And then, I don't know yet.
My team is in direct contact with the state and federal partners as we work to confirm the whereabouts and conditions of these New Yorkers. This is a brazen violation of international law. Those detained must be released. Except the funniest part about this is he thinks that if he just screams buzzwords to his audience of dipshits, Islamists, and woke retards, that it'll work. Except it does not violate international law. Actually, hilariously enough, if you look at the capture of neutral merchant vessels and goods, neutral merchant vessels are subject to capture outside neutral waters if they are engaged in any of the activities referred to in paragraph 67. For example, attempting to breach a blockade. So actually, it is perfectly legal under international law to stop terrorist supporters from providing aid to terrorists. Wow! Literally the shock of all time. Right, so these woke people are actually fucking retards. I would focus on this, though. Zoran Mamdani, a man just lit himself on fire and blew up an apartment in Queens. I would focus on that. Who knows? Who knows what ethnicity the perpetrator could possibly be? I'm thinking that probably a straight white Christian male. I think straight white Christian male is probably the most likely ethnicity of Mr. Anrup Parasram, who blew himself up. Personally, that's what I think. Anyway, Fatah, this is Palestinian people, officials in the Gaza Strip are accusing IDF of releasing trained rats to attack Palestinian children. Every day with these people, it's unbelievable. It's a genocide. It's a genocide. The rats are eating the Palestinian babies. Now, this is one of my all-time favorite lies. It's up there with Iran destroyed America's entire naval fleet, and Israel is training dogs to rape Palestinian prisoners. So some of my favorite stories of all time. Now, What we did actually get was Hezbollah, the terrorist organization that murdered 240 of our Marines in Beirut, positioned a rocket launcher inside a civilian building. You know, we keep getting more and more evidence of this, actually. As you can see, there is a rocket launcher in a civilian building, which is a violation of international law, which no one fucking cares about when terrorists do it. Kaboom! And there it is, and there it goes. Goodbye, civilian building. Get fucked, retards. No one cares. So anyway, these are the people that the leftoids are doing their absolute best to protect. And honestly, I'm not surprised. This is what we're dealing with. All right, so this is Cam Higbee, an American journalist, investigator guy who's actually pretty based, it seems. Like, he cracked down on a lot of the Somali fraud and shit. And he was talking to this girl about Palestine and whatever, because that's what these activists care about. They don't care about the Christians getting massacred in Nigeria, or Sudan, or Iran, or Syria, or Yemen. They don't care about any of those people, but they really desperately care about the Palestinians that started a war and lost.
I'm using Palestine as an example because we are obviously living through that right now. Do you guys agree?
Where is Palestine? What countries border it?
I do not know. I will be honest.
It's so over, man.
How are you going to lecture me about Palestine when you don't even know where it is?
I don't have to know where it is to know that millions are dying.
Millions are dying!
Millions have not died. You're telling me you have the most minimal information possible about the
Millions are dying! A population of 2.2 million, which, by the way, increased since the start of the Pretendicide. All right? It increased. All right? Since the Pretendicide started, they had more babies than people were killed. All right? And millions dying.
I'm supposed to expect that you're going to be able to inform me about it. Millions have not died. Not even Hamas claims that.
Yeah, so obviously we're dealing with absolute dipshit retards that are trying to rape and destroy our civilization, and we need to destroy them. And yes, that means that I don't give a fuck how strict Trump is on the Euro cucks that hate our way of life and are importing our destruction. Fuck these people. We are the most powerful nation on the planet, and you're gonna have to fucking deal with that. Deal with the consequences of not being our friend. Not gonna sugarcoat it. You're fucked, and it's all your fault.
They're taking over games and nobody stands a chance. Let me guess, it's about China.
I need you guys to make sure that I'm not losing my mind, that I'm not seeing things, because from my perspective, it looks like all the games that players are most excited for, the ones that they're enjoying the most, the ones that they're talking about the most, games that have been the most successful outside of a couple of outliers. I'm not saying that it's all of them, but they're all coming from the East. Elden Ring, Pal World, Tears of the Kingdom, Armored Core 6, Monster Hunter, Resident Evil, Black Myth Wukong, Space Marine 2, Marvel Rivals, Final Fantasy, and I already know that I'm going to enjoy Stellar Blade once it releases.
Let me think. Could I think of any others? I probably could. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot, especially the ones that are coming out. Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying that all Eastern games are great and all Western games are bad. No, there's definitely there's a handful of good games in the West. Believe me, I put 400 hours into Baldur's Gate 3, but with that said, the list is very short on the Western side of things. Yeah. And I think this is something that the vast majority of the industry doesn't want to discuss, especially games media, because, well, it means that they're losing relevance.
Of course.
Western games are losing relevance.
This is the reason. You're absolutely right. Media doesn't want to acknowledge that Chinese game studios and overseas game studios in general are gaining momentum and catching up in the market, because that diminishes their cultural relevance. Because their cultural relevance is only important inside of the scope of that individual culture.
Extension Western media then loses its relevance as well. There's been a cultural shift over the years where players are not being prioritized, but these Eastern studios are prioritizing these audiences, and as a result, because that cultural shift doesn't happen over there, well, they're taking advantage of a situation and they are skyrocketing in popularity. They're gaining more players,
that's what I was looking for.
And more importantly, they're gaining more money, which makes them a major threat to the rest of the industry.
There's also another component too about this, is that a lot of places overseas have much lower development costs because different costs over there are much lower. Like, for example, Black Myth Wukong cost under $100 million to make, much under $100 million to make. If that same game was made here in America, it probably would have doubled that number.
About heading towards a world that has a heck of a lot more Black Myths and Marvel Rivals and a lot less Dragon Age the Veilguard and Concord. That's not good for a lot of people in this industry.
And I actually even think that this problem isn't about the West as a macro group. I think it's actually about America. It's American games are the ones that are garbage. Because Baldur's Gate 3, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, those games were great, and they were Western games. It's American brain rot.
I'll tell you that right now because, well, as these
Ubisoft,
Eastern
yeah,
studios
hey.
continue to be successful, as they're able to produce way more games than a lot of these Western studios because of the financial position many of them are in, well, their investors are going to turn around and ask them, why aren't you doing that?
Yeah.
They're going to say, well, we can. But before we get into that, Monster Hunter Wilds is right around the corner, and with it is coming some of the craziest PC specs I've ever seen required. So you guys could use today's sponsor, StarForge. I've been loving my new PC from StarForge Systems. It's incredibly quiet, sleek, and lightning fast. It's a way better build than I could do myself, and they've got something for everyone.
By the way, if you want to buy one of the 1590 PCs, you have to be there like the moment, because apparently they're still selling out super fucking fast.
Ryzen PCs, which are great for an everyday gamer, much more affordable and just great for a first-time user or even experienced players. You can kick it up a notch. Go into their Navigator series. Man. They're packed with next-gen components, giving you some truly high-end performance. But if you're a content creator or an enthusiast like me, well, their Voyager series has everything that you're going to need. StarForge has a ton of incredible customization options with PCs inspired by popular games like Terraria and old-school RuneScape, anime like FreeRen, and even their own original designs. And if you really want to customize, they got limited run designs, plate lights, desk mats, and even posters to match your setup.
That's
Every
pretty
PC
crazy,
is
huh?
hand-built in Austin with premium quality and attention to detail, plus a 2-year parts and labor warranty. StarForge Systems, premium quality, white glove service, and all of it at an accessible price point. Follow the link in the pinned comment or the description below and check out StarForge Systems and find the PC of your dreams. There is a clear divide.
So true. Absolute. 100%. Completely agree.
Between games made in the East and those made in the West. And I found myself enjoying more Eastern games more and more. And I know that I'm not alone. You don't have to look that hard to see the
I'll
difference.
save up
Western
for
games
one.
are thriving while Western titles are
I'll have to go price them first.
The worst thing about Western games and American games is the dialogue in the games. The dialogue is where the real weakness shines through. The gameplay can sometimes be comparable, but the dialogue is just painful.
Creative stagnation. These studios and publishers get it. Culturally, they get it. They understand what players want, and they're delivering it without compromise. I boot up Monster Hunter, Black Myth Wukong.
I think it really says a lot if you have an Eastern developer that somehow understands American players better than American developers do, right? I mean, this is pretty fucking sad. It's HR dialogue. Yes, it is.
Fantasy 16, and it feels like peak is the only thing that they care about. They want you to experience something that is unforgettable. They want you to be blown away by the scale, spectacle, and raw excitement. I'm tracking down monsters, and I'm fighting them and crafting armor out of their bones.
Yeah,
and
so basically Monster Hunter is about monsters and hunting them, and it's not some sort of veiled critique on climate change or some sort of government, opinion or anything like that. It's just simply a very good video game that's about monsters. I know, guys, I know.
Developers painstakingly
bit of a
research
spoiler.
ecology to
Apologize.
make sure that they can create a realistic ecosystem that feels alive, while at the exact same time, they're not making that their only priority. They're also delivering stylized combat that you'd only find in anime. I'm walking through China's cultural history, experiencing one of the oldest stories
Well,
ever.
you'd also find it in fucking Yakuza. That game was an anime. It was basically an anime game. It was insane.
Ever told, and fighting literal gods.
What are you?
In Black Myth Wukong.
I'm inside my house, and dude was gonna getting all sketchy on me.
Final Fantasy 16, but every moment
All right,
builds to
all right.
something bigger.
Hang on a second. I have to get up, get something to drink, click on a light in this room,
Fighting a dragon in space that is about to
and then
unleash
take a
laser to
toke.
destroy the world. Then we look at games like
Matter of
Ninja
fact,
Gaiden, Resident Evil, Stellar
I am
Blade,
gonna
and
go to
an
bed.
entire industry of gacha juggernauts unapologetically delivering cool, badass, and attractive characters.
It's because these games know what their target audience
I'm actually not going away because
Western
everything's in the
games,
same room.
Basically, having a target audience is bad if your target audience is young men. And if you're making a game like this, your target audience will be young men. And young men want chicks with big tits, big swords, and cool shit, and they don't want to be patronized by some Karen. And they don't want dialogue that sounds like HR is in the room. Young guys don't like that. They've never liked that, and they never will like that. You're not going to psyop them into liking that. It's just not going to sell, just like it hasn't.
Studios are not afraid to give players what they want. Whether it's over-the-top action, ultra-stylized designs, or characters that are as powerful as they are attractive. Western games, well, they've been moving in the opposite direction. The androgynous,
Well,
desaturated...
the reality is, here's the thing. A lot of people play video games to get away from people like this in real life. So when you put people like this, these annoying, disagreeable, obnoxious, like just rude people in video games, well, it's like I'm trying to get away from this, and now they're in the game too. Why would I want to play the game?
Curated corporate safe designs that plague Western titles.
Yeah.
Nobody's asking for that. Certainly not the players, certainly not women. I see countless 2B cosplayers, but I haven't seen a single person willingly dressing up.
I wonder if he
as
can.
The Last of Us Part 2.
Hang on.
I guess we might see some Concord cosplays.
We gotta see.
But it's not just the aesthetics. It's
You gotta look at Buddy.
The skeletons.
Look at Buddy. That's his spot. That's where he sits.
It seems like the only thing they actually care about. They're not obsessing over realistic sweat physics in a first-person shooter. They're making sure that the controls feel incredible.
Meow.
The physics of the water. Like how things happen in the water, like, oh, well, what do the birds do? Like, yeah, you can focus on that. That's great if you want to do it, like what we were talking about with Skyrim and Avowed. But if your game doesn't play well, that's priority number one. And you can't even get past that.
Wasting time on irrelevant tech demos, they're refining gameplay mechanics to perfection.
Yeah.
They aren't ballooning their budgets to insane proportions for the most useless things. They aren't trying to be Hollywood, they're trying to be video games. I've been replaying Armored Core 6, and it's one of the most visually stunning games that I've played. But here's the thing, it's not chasing photorealism. It's designed in a way that tricks you to feel like it is. You're so immersed in the gameplay, so locked into the experience that you don't care about environmental destruction or ray trace reflections because the game is so damn good that you don't...
Well, I'll give people a little bit of a heads up. Nobody ever cared about environmental destruction, or actually people do like that, or like ray tracing or anything like that. This is all something that... This doesn't sell a game. At the bottom line, it does not sell a game. It's nice if the game has it, but it will not sell the game.
Need those things. Then I go back to Western AAA games, and what do I get? A checklist simulator, a tutorial that assumes that I've never touched a controller before, a protagonist that will not shut up, constantly telling me what to think and what to feel, a game world that exists only to make a point, not to be explored. And their obsession with open world bloat, because why make a game feel big when you can make it look big? Western developers want to force you through a message, Eastern developers want you to lose yourself in the experience. They aren't holding your hand.
I think that's a really good point that he brings up too, is that there is a level of escapism that Western video games, and especially American video games, don't want you to have. And I feel like a lot of Western video games, it's kind of like, you know what a good example of this is that, were you guys ever in like, AP or pre-AP English class in like high school? And you would have to hear about everything, how everything was a metaphor for like slavery or something like that. And like at a certain point, you just ask yourself, is this actually what the author intended? Or is this just what this dumb bitch keeps saying because she wants to have a job? I think that's where we're at. It was annoying.
Look how big her head's getting.
So fucking annoying.
And now she's sad.
Like, no, not everything is a fucking metaphor. Like sometimes people are just talking about this in a general sense.
Painfully self-important narrative filled with stiff, corporate safe writing, they're letting you engage with a world that feels alive. Eastern games are just built different.
Or Refantasio? Well, the reason why Metaphor Refantasio is good is because they allow Luis Guillerburn to be a force to be reckoned with. Like, he is honorable, he never lies, he's strong, he's competent. Now, he might be evil, but it's not like he's it's not like he's an inferior person in a lot of ways, if that makes sense, right? Like, they're not afraid to give villains that encapsulate and incorporate that, like, these villains play the role that real life villains in the past have played historically. but they're not afraid to give those villains positive attributes. And I think that with American games, a lot of these games are afraid to give villains positive attributes because they're worried that people might like the villains. And Luis was fucking cool. He was so fucking cool. He was awesome. It's the same as like that Senator Armstrong.
What's
guy
wrong with liking villains?
in, what do you call it?
Dude, everybody loves the Joker. Dude, everybody loves Darth Vader. Everybody wants to be Darth Vader.
It's such a stupid perspective to have, but again, it's a perspective that's...
The bad guys are always the badasses. Look, every superhero has another job. Alright? Supervillains are just supervillains. Dude, they have underground lairs. They have henchmen. They have henchmen.
They are dominating, and
superheroes are lucky they get a sidekick.
Harder and harder for a lot of these Western studios to be able
Supervillains have henchmen.
Japanese games being popular
And all of them have henchmen, so the henchman business is competitive. I mean, you have to offer competitive wages, offer benefits, 401k.
But
like,
we're not just talking about Japan.
I'm telling you, being a supervillain's where the money's at, man.
Nobody took notice that 2024 featured an entire wave of Eastern studios.
People that want to be superheroes, saps. Super villainy. That's the business to get into.
Not the only game in town anymore. And I noticed this shift when I saw historically mobile studios start to step up into the AAA premium game space.
I love this, by the way. I think this is fucking hilarious. That, like, not only, so this is, Grand Blue Fantasy Relink, and you have this game, and these people that made this shitty bullshit gotcha game just decided, hey, you know what if we just made a really good game? And you know what they did? They made a really good game. That's it.
Grand Blue Fantasy Relink. This was a game by Side Games, a studio known for gotcha games like Grand Blue Fantasy and Shadowverse. Why would they suddenly decide to make a AAA full production, full priced game unless they knew it was a smart investment, unless they saw an area of opportunity? Turns out they did, because Grand Blue Fantasy Relink sold 1 million copies in just 11 days, and it has still continued to sell, and the players loved it. Then it happened again with Stellar Blade. Shift Up, another gotcha.
It was also very well liked by the player base. A lot of people that played it enjoyed the game.
The studio jumped into AAA gaming, and the result? Another massive success.
Wow.
A game that sold over 1 million copies,
Just
like to outsell its PlayStation numbers entirely once it actually launches on PC.
I have a feeling Stellar Blade will have a lot more sales on PC. I think we all know why.
Otters are going to have a field day with this one. Then a first-time Chinese studio delivers a AAA cultural masterpiece in Black Myth Wukong, a game that shattered Steam's concurrent player records and sold 20 million copies in 1 month. It was bold, visually stunning.
Think about that, selling 20 million copies in 1 month, and it didn't win Game of the Year. Like, it's actually... I view this as, like... This was outrageous that happened. The big, for political reasons, I still believe this. You guys can call me Conspiracy Andy all you want. I think that Black Myth Wukong undeniably deserved Game of the Year, and the only reason why it didn't win was for political reasons. I straight up believe that. I actually do.
Rooted in mythology, blending diverse storytelling techniques and cinematic cutscenes, and exhilarating combat that just kept you hooked. It's tight, and light yet meaningful customization stripped away any necessary bloat. Just offered a pure, content-rich experience that pulled you in and refused to let you go. And who could forget Palworld, allegedly made for under $7 million, reaching 25 million players with 15 million copies sold on Steam. A game that crystallizes just about everything players have been asking for, what they wanted, the freedom that they've wanted. Finally, we saw the release of Marvel Rivals.
That's another great example, is that Palworld, like, even now, like, if I pull up Palworld at this very moment, it has 60,000 people online in its last peak. And the last update they had was like months ago. Even now. It's insane. It's also on Game Pass? Yeah, but those numbers aren't being included on Game Pass. So the numbers are even more impressive, I would say.
Storming onto the scene with stylized characters, great gameplay, killer performance, non-intrusive monetization, and overall just a fun experience for players that helped the game reach over 600,000 concurrent players on Steam with over 20 million downloads across all platforms.
Now, Marvel Rivals, what they need to do, hear me out on this. What if they had like a mode in the game where instead of fighting against like other, let's say like other heroes in Marvel, what if you fought against like monsters and it was like a dungeon or like a PvE experience, right? I feel like that would be a really, really cool idea. If they added PvE content to Marvel Rivals, imagine that. And maybe they gave like, you know, certain characters like whole talent trees and everything. I feel like they could do it. It's a great
idea. The success of these games, the shift is undeniable, and it's not slowing down. 2025 is already shaping up to be another massive year for Eastern developers. Monster Hunter Wilds is going to explode, potentially breaking over.
I think that the majority of this game, like, I would say, like, I mean, Japan has been dominant in the video game industry ever since the video game industry has existed in America, basically. But the big difference here is that you're seeing Korean developers actually bring in, because like Korean developers have always existed in the American market, but they've been pretty much always relegated to mobile and pay-to-win, like gacha style MMO games. And I think that now they're developing games that are much larger in scope. Besides that, I think that Kazan vs. Berserker is one example of that. But the big one, honestly, the 80% here is China. China are the ones that are building and making the really big games now. And the other big reason for it, I'm going to be honest, you want to talk about real soft power? How about having everybody in the fucking world think that your mythology is one of the best games that came out this year? That's real soft power, not a transsexual Sesame Street play in Iraq. That's real soft power.
1 million concurrent players on Steam. I could easily see it. I mean, Monster Hunter World, quintupled engagement across the entire franchise, so there's no telling.
We take all of the money from USAID, we give it to Rockstar to make a game of the 12 Trials of Hercules. That's right. That's right. That would be insane.
How far this new entry can go. Players are already excited for Phantom Blade Zero, Revolution, Feathers, Light of Motrium, and Tides of Annihilation, all made by Chinese studios stepping up to steal the show. And after seeing
where the hell are my
and the engagement that I'm
other?
seeing
I guess these are done, man.
For some of these games that are coming out, I think that
I'm really upset about
Western
my deleveries.
Refuse to accept that the layoffs, the cancellations, the flops aren't because gaming is dying. Players aren't leaving games; they're leaving Western games. They're seeing an industry that's at war with its own audience. They see the greed,
That's a really good way of putting it. Yeah, at war with its own audience. That's exactly what it is. Yep.
4 minutes ago.
Now, if you watch my content for a long time, you will know I am not a fan of anyone that has any allegiance to any foreign country over our own, period. The end. We got to talk about Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro knows it's over. The Daily Wire is falling apart. People are getting fired. There were mass layoffs. His subscribers and views are down. However, they're not as down as a lot of the people say they are. All right? He does like these short clips, which get like 10,000 views, 30,000 views. But his actual hour-long videos, they all have almost 500,000 views. All right? Like just 2 days ago, 500,000 views. All right? But then you look at the other one here, 3 days ago, 500,000 views. 4 days ago, 500,000 views. All right? This is so much more than all the Megyn Kellys and the Sneakos make believe it is. The fall-off is not as dramatic as people say it is, but the fall-off is dramatic. He is losing subscribers. The Daily Wire is firing people, and he knows it's over. His pristine brand of conservatism is dead, by the way, and that's because it is way too tough. I'm sorry to say it, but that's the truth. Now, he addressed this, and in his video where he addressed this, he actually, as far as I understand, did a good job. Hasnagold basically agreed with him, which is crazy, because I know Hasnagold hates Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro made a video, all the haters can kiss my ass. And I'm very excited to see what this is all about. It got gigantic crash outs from all the idiots. All right, so Shapiro called Carlson a Muslim apologist, and of course, actual Muslim apologist. Mehdi Hassan pops out of the woodwork. Imagine if left-wing commentator called Shapiro a Jewish apologist. He would call the commentator anti-Semitic bigot. Why? He literally is a Jewish apologist. He is quite literally Jewish. Of course, he is literally a Jewish apologist by definition. What are you talking about? Tucker Carlson, who claims to not be a Muslim, is a Muslim apologist. That is a fact. I have no idea why this is like some sort of line of attack. Now, Nick Fuentes also recently, he has done some pretty call-out worthy things too.
Epstein quarter zip, let him know you fuck with Epstein. Yeah, we fuck with Epstein. I like people that aren't retarded.
Listen, man, bro hates all the Jews except for like giga pedophile. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? All right, but again, that's not surprising.
I remember
I'm a non-woke moderate.
I was in my early 20s, and we had a friend that lived in an apartment that was right above a train station. It was like 3 floors above it, and across the street. It was actually across like an alleyway. But you could look down there and see the people getting off the train coming from the city. And we used to like to sit out on his balcony, drinking beer, and just yelling out random names to see who looked around. So we'd just be sitting up there drinking beer and just yell out, Mike! And just see how many people start looking around. That was before the internet.
Conservatism in Israel, and then backstabbed all that. Now she's on the anti-Israel grift. You know, not Candace Owens, who was anti-feminist and then pro-feminist and then a leftist doxer and then a right-wing and Jews-controlled society and also the weather and also have time-traveling assassins that killed Charlie Kirk. Complete and utter fucking nutcase. Right? Ben Shapiro has been remarkably consistent the entire time. The issues with Ben Shapiro are Ben Shapiro.
I used to do that too.
We don't. Who even cares who killed JFK? That was so long ago. Anyway, let me tell you about the Holocaust. Statements like, I would waive the requirement for American-born citizens to be the President of the United States of America if Benjamin Netanyahu could become the President of the United States of America. Statements like that, which are just like, literally what the fuck is going on. So lock in, boys and girls, let's see what the man has to say. All right, it's juke time. Before getting too deep into the chaos, free cash was promised to me 3,000 years ago. One thing I recently added to my daily routine is using free cash for a few minutes here and there. If I'm gonna play games as a time sponge, I might as well make some money out of it. Free cash is a fun and easy way to earn real money by doing simple tasks while already on your phone. Play games. Complete surveys, do simple tasks.
Oh, there it is. I was just gonna say, I lost 20 buds. What happened?
Strategy-based building game. You get instant payouts with a really easy process through PayPal, Amazon, or Visa. There's already over $250 million paid out to over 60 million users worldwide. It's a win-win. They get someone to test out their games and fill out their surveys, and you get paid. Use the QR code on the screen or click the link in the description to sign up and get a $10 bonus today. Now, back to the games. Every individual sign up literally supports the channel, so if you can click the link in the description and do the thing, that would be very appreciated.
Well, hello, everybody. You know, sometimes here on the Ben Shapiro Show, we cover the news, and sometimes we are the news here at the Daily Wire. Well, over the past few weeks, the Daily Wire, you might have noticed, has been the subject of a bunch of hit pieces. A veritable cornucopia of hit pieces. There was one from the Washington Post.
That's how you know you made it.
And there was one from Puff. And then, finally, there was an especially ridiculous one from the stellar journalists at New York Magazine, who literally plagiarized their hit piece from the Washington Post.
That's crazy.
So much journalism, high-level journalism.
That's a lot of journalism.
Well, this morning, that New York...
By the way, for whatever everyone wants to say about the Daily Wire, the Daily Wire, in my opinion, single-handedly was the #1 enemy of transgenderism in the United States of America. They ended the transgender movement. Ben Shapiro destroys woke libtards with fact and logic was literally everything in 2016. Say what you will, they have been on the right side of history a hell of a lot.
New York Magazine pieces lighting up the interwebs. It's lighting up X. Well, New York Magazine claims...
Ooh, I should eat the other half of my burger.
Ben Shapiro could reasonably call himself the king of all conservative media.
I mean, that's crazy.
Remember that time, but it sounds cool.
It does sound cool. He was an anti-Trumper, though. Let's not forget, he was anti-Trumper, he was pro-vaccine, pro-COVID lockdowns. Like, that's my issue, man. He is just way too in the box, you know, pro-giga corporations, pro-massive government overreach, believe the mainstream narrative, right? He said Epstein was a hoax, there was never any Epstein clients. We're in a generation where we're tired of, like, the basic, let's just vote harder. And we're like, no, actually, we need to tear this shit to the ground.
I came here for what? What did I come here for?
Law and order, close border, deport everybody. America first, no allegiance to foreign powers over our own nation. No dual citizens in Congress, just absolute slaughter of this old world libtard global order of retards. Right, and anyway.
You see, that's all over now. The Daily Wire is instituting significant layoffs. Well, according to New York Magazine, the future of conservatism isn't traditional conservatism. You know, like free markets, like equal rights before law, like checks and balances, traditional virtue.
True.
That's done.
No, that's true for sure, except we're going way harder than, like, the generic shit.
The future, according to New York Magazine, is Nick Fuentes, confirmed Nazi stan and woman hater, and a man who will never be able to get a human woman pregnant through natural means. Or Tucker Carlson, confirmed anti-capitalist and Muslim apologist, and victim of demon scratching, or maybe
Did Ben Shapiro just make a virgin joke towards Nick Fuentes?
Click whore and Grandma Groiper over there.
Click whore, bro. Grandma Groiper. Holy shit. Ben Shapiro watching the Nuts and Orange channel, question mark?
Well, New York Magazine writes, quote, the collapse of the Daily Wire can be seen as a dire warning for traditional Republicans. There are two realities to Shapiro conservatism in 2026. It retains a significant foothold among Republican elites, and it is being fast rejected by the future grassroots of the parties. First of all, that's just wrong. By the polling data...
No, actually, for the record, he's completely right about this. That is the generic conservatism is the foundation that a lot of people have. I think the majority, except I think a lot of the people actually want radical change. People are just tired of this old world order bullshit, this globalized, retarded, gay slop everywhere. We want to tear this shit to the fucking ground, all right? And you don't go hard enough, bro. Ben Shapiro, you could turn around the Daily Wire if you actually just went about 50% harder.
That we take here on the show are reflective of the broad majority of Republicans. That's just the reality. But I figured that we should address all of this head on. So, it's true. The Daily Wire laid off some 13% of our workforce since the beginning of the year.
He knows it's over, bro. It's over, bro. He knows it's over. Generic, pristine conservatardism is dying. All right, and people actually are fucking tired. We're tired, yes. I believe in the free market. I do, absolutely.
Yes, I think Ben Shapiro's brand of conservatism is dying.
I'm sorry. I'm just being real.
And that really sucked. It was truly sad because all those people are great.
I would agree with that.
You know, we're in business. Anytime you lay people off as a business,
100%.
That really sucks. It's tough. It's bad for them. It's bad for us. And I'm personally working to find other places of employ for as many of these people as I possibly can. Because everybody who we let go deserves a job somewhere else. They're great folks. But for our critics, this was all cause for massive celebration. You know, the joyful popping of the corks, or maybe in the case of Nick Fuentes, a victory celebration with Catboys and lubricant. And listen, we're honored by the attention. See, here's the thing. People only tend to write stories like this about major American institutions, right? Like Amazon dumps people. It's a big story. Washington Post.
That's how you know you made it, bro. He's so right about that.
Dumps people, and that's a big...
Also, there are several reasons why Daily Wire is falling apart. That's important to know. They fired a complete fucking retarded crackpot like Candace Owens, all right, who ultimately, she was a massive, you know, content creator for their organization, and they fired her because she's fucking retarded. It was ultimately the right call. They also, Jordan Peterson, you know, he's really sick right now. Like, you know, there's a couple of reasons that are out of his control, too. That's fair.
Story. And thank God, we are a major American institution. According to PodTrack, our podcast reach is 41 million people per month. We're ranked 6th globally. Wow. We have a total of 11 shows. Paramount, to take an example from that same chart, is ranked 4th globally. They have 145 shows. So on a per capita basis, we're killing it.
Per capita.
We are responsible for the 2 most successful conservative documentaries in history, Matt Walsh's Am I Racist and What is a Woman? Just this week, Vice President Vance was quoting our reporting in his fraud investigations, and our White House correspondent, Mary Margaret Olahan, is in the press room asking questions. See, here's the thing. There's no national media coverage if a top Candace Owens producer and her manager quit. Or if Megyn Kelly's YouTube account starts shedding tens of thousands of subscribers a month. Or if Tucker Carlson's traffic is disproportionately drawn from Pakistan.
Which it is.
We all have our fan base. Those are all things that actually happen.
Bro is not backing down, bro. He knows it's over, but he is sticking to his guns, and I respect the shit out of that.
The way, but nobody really cares very much because, yeah, those people have significant audience numbers, but they don't have any real institutional influence. They are not institutions. That's not true of the Daily Wire. We're big enough that people care when we trip up. And of course, like any business, we have our ups, we have our downs. But as Mark Twain put it, the reports of our death are greatly exaggerated. But here's the thing, there's something else going on here.
Oh, shit.
Something very clear going on here. The media left and the woke right, Candace, and Fuentes, and Tucker, and Megyn, all of them.
You know,
I'm gonna mix
list his names of ops
mix up a good batch of this stuff.
Call them the retard right if you were actually based. All right,
and then
really, in my opinion, mixing things up. Tucker
I'm doing some meth.
Paid bad actor from
and
entities.
well, that'll give me a good stockpile of
pro-Israel to anti-Israel, whatever, so flip-flop like
a good a good stockpile of drugs. But I could also custom make some drugs to try to get the other dealer.
And Nick Fuentes, you refuse to debate. Nick Fuentes ultimately is his own person, all right? He is his own person. He's been remarkably consistent over the years. Whatever you say about him, I disagree with a lot of his, like, yeah, I fuck with Jeffrey Epstein. I'm a moderate Democrat, all right? Listen, I don't agree with his political stance. Both Democrats are so gosh, Israel is the root of all the things, all right? I think that a lot of that shit's retarded. He has been consistent. He has not been thrifty and flip-floppy in those regards. And he challenged you to debate, and you refuse to debate it. If your ideas are better than his, prove it. I would have so much more respect if you would debate that guy.
Let me do a quick run through the sewers. I don't think there's going to be more mushrooms, but if I could find 6 more, that'd be cool.
Refuse to debate him, you know, and the other 2 are just completely far gone. But I totally respect your criticism of Nick Fuentes being a cat boy loving, terrorist sympathizing neo-Nazi or whatever the fuck you want to call him, if you would actually debate the guy. You're a good debater, all right? You would probably even destroy him with facts and logic. I would love to see that debate.
Together, they are
shit.
To destroy traditional conservatism. That's the whole thing here. See, the Daily Wire is the largest traditional conservative media company in the digital space by like a ton, by leaps and bounds. We are multiple times the size of any of these others. We have lots of conversations on our platform between our various hosts about topics ranging from
You know what? That scared me a lot more than it should have.
Catholicism and Judaism and all of it. There's a lot of rich disagreement here at the Daily Wire. But in the end, what we stand for here at the Daily Wire is pretty simple. Truth and virtue and freedom. And that is what the new left, meaning the old left and the horseshoe right, would love to destroy. It's why the attacks have been coming fast and furious for weeks now. They want to destroy traditional...
He is right. I see constantly people like, Ben Shapiro says this, and then they like make up a complete fake quote, and it has like 1 million likes. I think Ben Shapiro gets a way disproportionate amount of hate for shit like that. And ultimately, I do think he is fighting a good fight. My issue is, there is just a little inkling there that's like, is he really fighting for American values? Like, I get it, American values are absolutely great, and I do think they align with Israel, generally speaking, but are you fighting for American values because they align with Israel, or because they're American values? You always have to wonder that, when you hear bro be like, I would let Netanyahu become president of the United States and waive the rights of, waive the requirement of American born, I'm like, what are we doing here, man?
Conservatism is their goal in life. They want to destroy it for a couple of different reasons, the left for one reason, the woke right for another. In our supposed vulnerability, people from Nick Fuentes to Tucker, from Candace Owens to New York Magazine, from the Washington Post to Megyn Kelly, they see an opportunity to supplant traditional conservatism with a conspiratorial, grievance-addled, nutty version of populism. Or, in Megyn's case, just make some quick clicks and cash. It's a lucrative grift. It's a dangerous grift for America.
Bro,
so
he's
why is this happening? Well,
he's right.
For the media left,
he's totally right about this, by the way.
We get it. For the media left, we get it. They're always happy to run this script because they love a right that is crazy. They don't want a right that is characterized by normie beliefs. They want a right that's nuts. Because the easiest way to make AOC president in the 2028 election is to have that nutty lady run against a conservative movement
Bro, she's gonna get absolutely eviscerated by Marcus Rubius, okay? If our Latino mods the shit out of your Latino, okay?
That is focused on Brigitte Macron's testicles, or demon attacks in the wilds of Maine, or why the Jews are responsible for your incurable gingivitis and horrific body odor and inability to get a date.
Bro, that's literally my line.
Now, as for the woke right, the new left, again, that would be Fuentes and Tucker and Candace and company.
Again, I really hate the Lumpin situation, but yeah.
They're ecstatic about all of this for both business and political reasons.
True.
One, they're our competition, but second, they want to tear down traditional conservatism. Their whole goal is to cannibalize the traditional conservative audience. There are, by all available metrics, a hell of a lot more traditional conservatives and rational people in this country than nuts. But
then why are you losing viewers and they are gaining viewers? Obviously, you are not exactly assuaging the fears of the average normal guy. And that's why I'm saying, I think that you're a little bit mistaken here. I think one of the reasons why people are listening to these other voices are not necessarily because they agree with all the things. I don't think every person listening to Tucker Carlson loves Islam. I think they have questions, and they're also from Pakistan. And when you just sweep all criticism of Israel, let's say, completely under the rug, all of it, well, then it just looks like you're hiding something, sir. See, I'm very open and upfront about my stances. I do not want to be funding any foreign country ever, period. I have zero allegiance to the government of Israel. I do believe the land is the Holy Land, promised 3,000 years ago. Yeah, sure, yeah. Whatever. The people there, great people. Shout out to the Jews. They control the weather and have time-traveling assassins. I love the Jews. They're great. Some of them. The non-woke ones, at least. But the government is just like any other foreign government. You see, I'll give you an example. Every time I see the government of Israel celebrating some sort of pride parade, I throw up in my mouth the same way I see one happening here. That said, I actually do like that Israel does like winning wars and obliterating terrorists and shit. So, literally the opposite. Most people are like, oh, I don't support everything the government does. I don't like that they kill terrorists in Gaza. And I'm like, no, that's the fucking good part. What are we talking about? And I think that is what's missing from this, like, in my opinion, very lukewarm conservatism. The Daily Wire would do so much better if you went harder.
Their goal is to gut the conservative movement and then turn it into a skin suit for their own perverse politics. That's the whole thing, which is why many of them are now coming out as Democrats. That unity is the thing. That unity is the thing. This is why Russia Today is the official outlet for the Kremlin.
Yeah.
Right? It is run by the Russian government.
Yeah.
Is retweeting Nick Fuentes' triumphalism today.
Absolutely. Because they hate America. Duh. And Nick Fuentes ultimately stands for a movement that is splitting America into splinters. All right? Because he's telling people to vote for Democrats, which is completely fucking retarded.
Fuentes tweeted out, I won, after that New York Magazine piece came out. And Fuentes won. Well, I don't know. Living in your basement and streaming for 8 hours a day while jacking off to the Catboys, it's a form of winning, I said. Hey.
Bro?
All right.
Bro? When did Ben get into the weeds here? Bro's flinging shit, and I like it.
Whatever floats your boat, my dude.
I mean, look, man, objectively speaking, and this is just an objective fact, in, like, the entire Daily Wire, there was, like, 0 sex scandals. Ben Shapiro, Matt Walsh, Michael Knowles, all the actual, like, Daily Wire guys, they're just good-ass dudes. They're dudes that believe in God, they have a strong faith, they have wives and children, no infinite degeneracy, and it's honestly insane. And when you look at, like, the overall retard position, it's, like, just degenerate gambling and pimping and OnlyFans, and he is so right about that. That is a fact.
You might call the Russia Today Fuentes get-together an online Molotov-Ribbentrop pact. Well, it's also why the Washington Post is happy to quote Candace Owens, the ranting bag lady of the internet, to explain that the Daily Wire's numbers are down.
The ranting bag lady of the internet.
True, the ranting bag lady, bro.
Again, that alliance between the left and the woke right is totally real. And
That
it's active.
that was
This is why they are getting together to formulate stories.
that was more
talking points.
of a Ben Shapiro joke than the fucking sex ones he was trying to make of Nick Fuentes. That I like that. That was funny. That was a Ben Shapiro joke right there. You could probably tell that joke to somebody else and they'll ask you, "Did you hear that from Ben Shapiro?"
You're the coward, Ben, and your moral preening, priggish lectures and holier-than-thou judgments are the reason you are losing fans, and more than that, friends, at a record rate.
Wow.
All these people are on the same script. They're all on the same script. And also, because as people who traffic in crap for sweet, sweet lucre, they would love to be spared the lecture. They don't want to be lectured as they grift. So they're going to do the same thing that, you know, a 13-year-old boy would do if caught doing naughty things on his iPad. They don't want to be lectured. Don't you lecture. Well, it turns out sometimes in life, people need lectures and decent...
Oh my God! Oh man! He is doubling down! He's like, it's unpopular to lecture you, but sometimes you deserve a spanky anyway. I respect that, bro.
See in reason and in truth.
Shit.
You know, people who smear the wives of murdered men. Or cover for people who smear for the wives of murdered men.
Yeah.
Those people deserve lectures. Maybe the people who revive Nazi propaganda. Maybe the people who have the non-existent testicles of the spouses of French politicians.
Damn, bro.
Or maybe the people who make a cause with, you know, actual Nazi stance. Maybe those people deserve lectures. Maybe the people who are repeating talking points from Hassan Piker and mimicking the propaganda of Vladimir Putin. Or people who just randomly start cursing so much and are hanging out with the Groyper adjacent and embracing Islam. Maybe those people deserve lectures. I don't know.
Bro's kind of cooking.
There's always a big
just
YouTube
kind of
audience
cooking.
for that sort of crap. But let's be real. There's a massive online audience for pornography as well. But let's get back to the central issue.
That was a crazy rant, and he was just fucking fire. I'm not gonna lie. Bro was cooking.
The point of
I
it...
respect the fact that people are like, people don't like listening to you because you're condescending. Condescendingly explain to you why you're wrong. Yes. The double down. He knows it's over, and he doesn't care.
Attacks on the
Alright, gonna start creeping this meth in with little Benji.
Conservatism. That's the whole thing.
And I think we'll start making money pretty quick.
That's the whole thing. The reason they're coming after the Daily Wire is because they want to come after you. They want to come after traditional conservatives who believe traditionally conservative things.
Did my other truck shop?
It's
Yeah,
no
cool.
coincidence that at the same time,
Pow, 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 pow,
magazine, and all the
pow,
rest
pow.
of these legacy left publications are attacking the Daily Wire. They're also writing strange new respect features on Ned Fuentes and Marjorie Taylor Greene and Tucker Carlson.
True.
The left wants those people to win.
True.
By the way, they're not hiding it
Objectively.
very well.
No, that's completely true. They support Thomas Massey, all right, because he backstabbed Trump, and they'll support Tucker Carlson because he backstabbed Trump. They'll support Nick Fuentes. They do that thing. They constantly. That's true, by the way. He's completely right. And Fox News does it with Hassan Piker, by the way. Hassan Piker is a radical jihadi terrorist supporter. So, you know, Fox News is like, look at the new leftist darling, Hassan Piker. It's the same idea. It's literally the classic strategy. Yeah, he's right, though. It is happening.
New York Magazine's piece says, quote, like the Rockefeller Republican of yore, the Shapiro Republican could go extinct entirely. That's what
Zombifying.
right? They want
I've never seen that one before. That's a new one.
That's what they hope for.
He's right.
And listen, maybe it will turn out that all these people who hate...
And they will, by the way. And they'll become a much more radical form than ever before. They will become Super Saiyan. Much like your Keepa gets bigger and bigger in size every video, so too my Super Saiyan hair will unlock. And the reality is very simple. We are gonna win. And I don't mean we as in me against you, Ben Shapiro, on a personal level. I have nothing against Ben Shapiro on a personal level. I mean we as in young men that are fucking tired of getting raped by our global overlords. There is an affordability issue in the country, ultimately. And free markets are good, and I fully support them, by the way. But one of the major points that we need for our country is mass deportations. And I really don't see a lot of advocating for stuff like that. You know, if we deport 30 million people, all of a sudden we'll have a lot more we'll have a lot more houses that are open for anyone to buy. All right, and all of a sudden prices are going to go down because sellers are going to want to sell the houses, and well, there's just so much supply and not nearly as much demand. I agree with the idea that the old school "don't tread on me" conservatism is dying, but that's because it's evolving into now we're going to fucking tread on you. Old school conservatism was like, all cultures are equal, it's all about meritocracy. Modern conservatism, and what it's becoming, is, no, actually some cultures are fucking worse, and actually, yes, I understand that importing 1 million Indians would be very beneficial to the top companies that are employing them for slave labor rates, but actually, we don't fucking care about that. We are going to stop that from happening because we care about our country and we care about our culture. I think he kind of doesn't want to address things like that because it almost gives credence to the critics. What he's saying in regards to like Candace Owens, Megyn Kelly, and all those fuckers, he's completely right about. Don't get me wrong. There is absolutely a subset of the right that's just working to destroy our nation and latch on to the very, very legitimate gripes and criticisms of mostly young men in our country and contort to them. Which is why, if you want to win, you need to step up and evolve.
Conservatism and what I consider to be traditional American principles, maybe they're right. Maybe it'll turn out that the future of the right, perverted by the algorithmic insanity of the internet, is slopulism. You know, the Tucker-style grievance conspiracism, complete with the night-scratching demons. Or Candace...
But Tucker is a demoralization agent. He's just radically pro-Islam in every possible way. He does address actual complaints of the American people. He does nothing to ever solve them. He just complains, bitches, and moans and talks about how, well, you don't like the idea that you can't get married if you're a young man? And he's right, by the way. There's a major issue for young men. It's hard to get married. You have a lot of women that are getting churned out from colleges, turning them into, like, emotional, diarrhea, drug-addicted retards. It's really hard for young men to actually find a virtuous woman. And he's like, oh, well, in Qatar, the women are incredibly virtuous. You know, and he's like, well, you know, you make a good point. So he'll actually address the issue properly, an issue that is actually bothering Americans, and he'll respond with a solution that's actually we should just submit to Allah. But it doesn't invalidate the purpose of the question.
It's Owens' usual brand of kookery. Or Nick Fuentes' transgressive Nazi cosplay. Or Theo Vaughn's man-child podcast illiteracy. Maybe that's where the Rekt is. Maybe that's what comes next. Maybe that's all facilitated by the click whoring of the Megyn Kellys of the world. And justified by an appeal to audience numbers. Because none of these people ever appeal to morality. They just point to their clicks.
True.
Maybe Idiocracy wasn't a satire. Maybe it was a prophetic documentary. But here's the thing, from where I sit. That does not change one single thing for me. Not a single thing. Here's the thing. I've been doing this since I was 17 years old. I started off when I was 17 years old writing a syndicated column on politics. I didn't do that because I wanted to get rich that way. That's not how you get rich.
True.
I got into politics.
Bro, he was a Harvard lawyer, okay? He was a Harvard lawyer, and on the side, he was like, I have to do politics as well. It was not for the shekels, okay, guys?
Because I cared about the truth.
I agree,
about saying
It's
things.
not for the shekels,
has
dude.
done
Oh my god.
Remarkably.
The reason he's not still doing a lawyer thing is because he's making more money doing this.
He brought up a copy of the Constitution to Pierce Morgan and shredded him on gun rights back in the day. You know, he got into all these transgender beefs when hysteria was on the rise and everyone was getting canceled, and he would say, you know, he would call people by the wrong pronouns on purpose, trigger a reaction, get 1 billion views on that shit.
Besides that, Ben Shapiro,
it was necessary, and
he could retire.
for where we are
He doesn't
now.
have to work anymore.
For it. Absolutely.
I believe to be eternal and true because I care about the ideas of conservatism. It's why I've done that for all these years. I care about free markets, and I care about private property, and I care about equal rights before the law, and checks and balances, and the Constitution. I care about all of those things. I care about the America that the founders promised us, and the America that our parents and...
Yeah, well, that was a republic, not a democracy. I don't see you advocating for the abolishment of universal suffrage, though. That would be fucking awesome. If you went out there and you made a video titled, "Why Women Deserve Less," you would win me. That was a joke. I'm joking. Kidding, YouTube overlord. I'm joking.
Grandparents fought and worked for. And I'm not going to lie for cash. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to tell you about the wonders of Moscow supermarkets or the glories of Sharia law in Hungary. I'm not going to pander for clicks.
That's
by
right.
pretending that Erica Kirk might have been complicit in Charlie Kirk's
Totally right about
or that perverse and malicious questions about TPUSA's cover-up are somehow a bizarre form of investigative journalism. I'm not going to wink and nod at the transgressiveness of the Nazi incels or chuckle along with people who pretend that a conspiratorial elite are the reason your life isn't everything that you want it to be. In the freest and most prosperous country in world history, I'm going to be grateful for America, and I'm going to point out what's great about America and what our principles are. I'm not going to do any of that because here's the thing, I got into this business to do precisely the opposite. I haven't changed my principles. I've been doing this for 25 years. I've not changed.
Well, I mean, he was like a radical never-Trumper, and now he's like super pro-Trump. But I guess that wasn't a principle change. That was just kind of, I guess, he misunderstood who Trump was. Again, I think he just sucks up the institution a little too much. That's one of my complaints. He's just very, they said COVID masks. Oh, they said lockdown. They said vaccine. They said Trump was bad. Trump, you know, and now Trump, yes. Fox News likes Trump now, so I like Trump now.
my principles. Now, there's a question that I get a lot these days, a lot. From friends, from family. People will come up and they'll say, what happened to all these people? Yeah, they understand New York Magazine and Washington Post and what they are, but what happened to, Candace Owens or Tucker Carlson or Megyn Kelly and all the rest? And I don't know the answer because I'm not a psychiatrist. But here's what I do know. Nobody has ever asked that question about me. Nope.
Mic drop. Mic drop. And utter mic drop, he's right. You know who else no one asks that about? Nick Fuentes. Because he's also been consistent. Which is why I want to see you guys debate. I would love it if you guys debated. But yeah, no, he's completely right about this.
One, because my worldview has not changed. It has not changed. My principles haven't changed because I think those principles are true and good. And those principles are not going to change. So, in the end, take it or leave it. If people decide they don't want to hear it, it's a free country. That's their choice. But I am willing to bet my future and the future of America that more Americans agree with me than agree with the people who want to destroy the Daily Wire. I'm betting there are a lot more rational people in this country than conspiracy-mongering nutjobs. I'm betting that there are way more people in America who believe in truth and virtue and freedom than people who revel in grievance and demoralization and stupidity. And again, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we lose. But here's the thing. That also doesn't change a thing. It doesn't change a thing. It doesn't matter. Because the only thing that matters is the only thing that has ever mattered to me. Speaking the truth, whether people like it or whether they don't. Because facts still don't care about your feelings.
That's cute. Nice ending.
This is the Ben Shapiro Show.
That was actually really good. He knows it's over, but the haters can kiss his ass, and he will stand on business. And I respect the fuck out of that. I really do. You know, you can call him whatever. You can't call Ben Shapiro a grifter. You can't. Damn, you really could. Elon Musk responded, most podcasts that listen on 2x speed, but Ben is only 1.5x speed. That's our guy. That's our guy. Yeah, even Admiral, who doesn't like him, actually said he reacts to Ben Shapiro cooking, Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, and Megyn Kelly. Is he wrong? I like Nick, but the other ones he's kind of right about. Yeah, no, it's honestly insane. And I'll be real. If Ben Shapiro would act a little less robotic, I think he would actually take it back. If he actually woke up and he was like, you know what? I am going to actually address the issues and not just sweep it under the rug as neo-Nazi conspiracy. If he would debate Nick Fuentes and he would be a little more radical in regards to following the American dream, this dude would kill it. But I respect the fuck out of it. He could have ignored it. He didn't need to talk about it, but he did anyway. And he knows it's going to bring a deluge of hate and shit. 5.5 million views on this Twitter post. All right? Maybe I'm more of an optimist, but I do think that we are moving into a new era of conservatism in America. And I also don't believe it's falling for the infinite grift conspiracy talking point thing that he keeps addressing. I think we're moving to an era where people are just really tired of getting raped by previous generations that have destroyed our culture and country. We're seeing a return to traditionalism, if anything.
Get more storage for that room.
Up for biblical values the way no one has before. There is an absolute
I know what I'm gonna do.
increase in people returning to their faiths. In the entire young
I'd like to
generation,
purchase
whether it's Judaism or Christianity,
some things.
so many people in all of these communities becoming more religious.
I want
You
2 of
see
these.
What non-religious morality, non-God-based morality gets you, and that's the far left, just advocating for the assassination of political figures and celebrating their wives and widows' miseries. Yeah, it's not going to be easy to clean up the shit that the previous generations of limp-dicked conservatives put us in, but we're going to do it.
That'll do it. That'll do it.
We will be building a wall. We will embrace our culture and our heritage, and we will not water it
I
down.
want to run by here and see if he's made 4 more mess yet.
Let's employ a bajillion Indians.
This stuff takes a little while, so.
If we could just bring in an Indian. I have nothing against the Indian people. I want them to be.
Oh, he's out of shit, I bet.
Or,
God damn it.
Make India great. Let's just say it that way. But we are so fucking back. So you either need to buckle up, get on the ride, or you're gonna get left behind.
$584. I can't see how much, because I'm an old man. I can't see so good. I know I can get. No, I can't get 10 of them. I can only get.
Because it's EA. What do you expect?
I can get 7 at a time.
The choice between A, spending millions of dollars for every month that you lengthen development time to ensure that you release a relatively bug-free and finished product, and hope it eventually pays off because lots of people recognize that it's good quality, buy it, sing your
I'm gonna run
praises,
over there, give her money. Right now, I just gotta. I don't think I really need to do too much.
which is all a very big gamble. gamble, or B, set a very unrealistic release date that you know damn well you
Oh,
will
I'm
not
going to
make,
drop
and
off
force
money
your
for
team
the
to crunch their
chick.
asses off
Alright,
only
hang
to
on.
still release a broken game that you'll maybe eventually fix with a giant update long after release and after you've already made all your money. And to make sure you definitely
give her
see a
2
return on your
G's.
giant investment and satisfy your
That should be
investors,
enough.
do all these pre-order
You know what?
bonuses.
I'm going to turn these guys off.
Look at that, white bro.
Just because I could talk to you guys then. Boom. Oh my god. Alright. This is the third pot. I gotta manage this pot. There we go. Then this last one, I believe, goes pow. There we go. Oh, let me run back and... Oh, come on. buy some more chemicals. I want 30 of these. 30 of these. Alright, and then I should be able to... Dude, why don't you sell shells? I'm gonna buy one drying rack. I don't have enough to buy the drying rack. I have enough to buy everything else, though. Now, if only the chick would call me. Tell me where I can get my shit. Oh, right by the cops, too, I bet. I'm trying to sneak over here. They're down there. Got them. Alright, get to work, Squidward. Whoa! Chick hide in the bush. What's wrong, baby girl? What are you crying for? Are you in heat? You looking to get laid? Well, I'm not letting you out. It's not happening. Man, cat. Freaking killing me. Around 3 hours. Alright, I guess I'm mixing until I get the call. so I can get my next 4 going. How's my arm smell? Right? Yeah. Those are the other 4. Okay. Let me run over and drop this off right quick. Damn. Get better get to work. It's the last day I could pay you. I'm gonna go see what. Benji, I better be out dealing. I need money. Where's he at? Is that him? Hey, Ben. That's it? 3 grand? Dude, you're killing me. Let's go back to mixing. Because it takes a couple days for the mushrooms to grow back. Fucking cans laying there looking like mushrooms. They do that shit on purpose, I think. So we'll give it a little longer. Ice cream puke. I don't know why that's funny, but it just is. And now I'm mixing it with a donut. Money, 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 come on. Money, money, money. Oh, I'm gonna need 4 more. Come on, come on, come on. Ah. That's not what I meant to hit. Alright, sorry, I had an itch. Just gotta be careful with that. Hey G, what's up? Need anything on here? No? You're good? Alright, that's cool. What is this? Slimy ghost. Shiny ghost, here we go. 82 bucks a unit. Now we just kind of hang around. Like a lot of these people are going to be on this side of town, so, but I should probably run to the laundromat and launder some more money. Oh, alright. Finally. Sure thing. I will bring it to you immediately. Like, I will get there before you. I guarantee it. I'm running it. I got it in my hand. Where is she? Holy shit, you call me from here? What the hell? Fat cops will never catch me. Big doughy donut eating fascists. Oop. Hey! Stop! Get off of me! Whoa! You didn't see me. Sure thing. You're gonna have to give me a minute though, because cops got me pinned up at my house. Narc. That chick was a total narc. Watch out for this Joyce chick too. I don't think I could trust her. Alright, I think we're west of the warehouse, right? Here she comes. Hey, how you doing? George Green. Motherfucker, I don't know you. I don't know if I could trust that dude, but I gotta see how much we're done after we're done with that, man. I don't like this guy. Under West Bridge. What? What's wrong with my weed? Hey, you want to buy something? nobody's ready yet. Alright, well, I'm getting tired. I'm going to turn in for the evening. You guys tune in tomorrow. It's my birthday stream, so... Oop, I better go save. Yeah, my birthday stream is tomorrow. I'll be starting at 7 a.m. and going all day till 7 p.m. But anywho, I will see you guys in the morning. Have a good evening.